Yes.
Good. I will unpause
Well,
it.
I did. Everyone else, I can't speak for everyone else.
I'll do that.
Sorry, I had a what's the word?
A conniption?
No, a
Temper tantrum.
no, an interview. I was interviewing someone. Oh god, I was interviewing someone.
A question about upgrading track. How do you do it without fucking your trains over? Do you have to take the trains into a
can't.
depot and then do it while they're visiting the depot?
What you can do is send all your trains to a depot. Then, next to every depot, build a monorail depot. Then
Let's build new depots.
Yep. Then upgrade your whole network. Then make a new monorail for each old train, and then clone the orders. I'm not saying this is an easy or simple or fun.
Clone the orders sounds fairly straightforward.
The clone the orders is easy. The rest of it's not. Yeah.
So how do you convert them? You just use the upgrade tool, yes?
Use the upgrade tool. Yeah. To be honest, I don't know. Oh, are we not on pause?
We have paused, but we've got a client connecting.
Oh, it's Tad.
Oh, it's me.
There's always one. You couldn't have joined
that off.
But it's only like a couple of megs.
Yeah, that's Tad's internet.
0.9, and I'm at 2 or 7K.
How much money are you?
I'm hurrying as fast as my internet can.
Wish it'd do a diff. That's when you just have the whole file to do a diff. But it could just do a meta sort of update.
It is possible to turn off the pause, and then Tad will get the world, and then he has to play catch up. But apparently, if your internet is bad, you never successfully play catch up.
Oh wow. Sorry, Tadsky.
Well, I'm in now. It's all good.
How are we all anyway?
Good, thank you.
Another exciting day.
Are we all excited about the Snyder Cut of Justice League?
The what?
They've re-released Justice League, the original developer, director's vision.
Call me a Luddite. I've no idea what it is.
You didn't see Justice League? Superman, Flash, Wonder Woman, all running around punching bad guys? Oh, okay, it was DC film.
Right.
A lot of controversy around it because Zack Snyder quit and then somebody else redid it and no one liked it, and it's like, it was alright, and now they've redone it and now this solves all the problems with the film and it's the best thing ever, and I'm like, don't want to seem skeptical or anything, but I think the film had more wrong with it than just that. But yeah, it's annoying. So it's on HBO Max, which we don't get in the UK, so we can only get HBO Max via Sky. But HBO is doing all of Warner Brothers films for the next 2 years. So I'm like, I will subscribe to HBO Max. That is fine. That is an excellent category of stuff. But no, so it's Pirate Bay for me. I have so little sympathy when people who make digital content make it more difficult for me. Like I will purchase the thing happily, or I will subscribe to it happily. What I'm not doing is getting Sky just in order to watch a couple of things.
Yes, that is redonkulous. Do you have to upgrade the stations as well? I'm sure you must be able to.
Yeah, they're just track as far as the train's concerned.
Can't convert road type, no suitable railway track. What?
Every market analyst on the planet told them.
Yeah.
Oh. Every market analyst told them, do not oversaturate this market, or it'll be gone.
Yes, I mean, there was,
what did they do?
A whole period where I didn't pirate stuff. It was all there. It was great. I was subscribing. Now it's like, all right, so this one thing I want, I had to subscribe to a £40 a month subscription. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to. You know, it's cute.
That's
you
why
think
I
you
haven't
can make
seen
me.
Star Trek Discovery.
Which one's Discovery's on Netflix? Yeah. To be fair, Netflix is one of the bigger ones. They do.
Is it on Netflix? It was on CBS only for a while.
Oh, it might be. Well, certainly might be in UK Netflix.
Ah, right. Got it.
Ah, that's probably why. VPN.
Until they work out the VPN's public IPs, and then they're usually blocked.
Yeah. You also sometimes need to have like if I want to do Netflix US, I believe I need a Netflix US account and a Netflix US subscription, which means I need a Netflix US credit card, a US credit card, and
it's all sort of very much gotcha.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I don't mind when that happens because that's not Netflix's fault. That's because some rights owners aren't willing to share the rights. So I get that. That's that's understandable. Annoying, but understandable. Oh.
So if I've got a train and I want them to load and unload at both stations, just fill, load any cargo and unload all.
No, do nothing with the orders. What is it?
That's what I'm saying.
What resource?
It's that valuables train between the two
Oh
cities.
yeah, just don't give it. You can set. I would set it to full load at both ends, with valuables. Kind of. I mean, when you're first starting, don't full load because valuables are created when a valuables train arrives. Later on, once you have a lot of resources or more than one train, you can happily do that. So relaxing compared to Wreckfest.
And this boat's slow. I might sell it.
Hovercraft are great if you can outfit them. It's a long way. Hovercraft can be really worth doing. Yeah, can you outfit hovercraft? Let me see. Hovercraft. Available ships.
Oh.
Bakewell 300 hovercraft. Okay, that's not refittable. Oh. Alright, just the 2 cargo ships are refittable. Which tanker did you make? Was it the MP? What's its top speed? 15 or 25?
I've made one of both now.
Alright, yeah. Almost always, faster one is better.
The short one's the slow one, the long one's the faster one. Yeah. I'm new. I don't know what to do.
Well, as I said, nearly always faster is better. I mean, your mum might disagree because she gets to charge less, but outside of that...
It's not here. How do you know? I just know.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Andy's mum's not here anymore either, which is a shame.
Oh,
hey,
no.
How you doing? Yeah, so as you said, Max, we've not used our VR headset in ages. Mine's just there. It's not plugged in currently, but I will need to plug that in for tomorrow.
Yeah,
I play Rec Room.
Which one's the monorail? The Millennium Z1 Electric. Click for talking.
The Millennium Z1 or the X2001, yeah.
Right. So buy that, and then I have to literally clone the train.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
No, hold on.
It is an absolute pain in the ass to do, I promise.
Oh crap, I just deleted the whole train.
Yeah, clone it. Well, not make a new
train.
No,
I binned it.
Well, make a new train, tell it to go to the old train, and then delete the train.
I think that was the passenger one, actually. So that's easy enough.
That's the point.
Oh, yeah. X.
See, sometimes what I do is I put on a piece of music to play, but what I do is I make sure that the piece of music I'm playing has no this song in this mix thing. There you go. I hope you can hear that, but just very quietly. I played Satisfactory on its free weekend, and I've never played since then, and I don't care about it at all. Ouch, 45,000. That's a bit much. Okay, HSBC Train, how you doing? Oh, you do make a lot of money each year. I'm going to make another one of you. Oh, I'm not. Well, I paid off my loan. That didn't last long. Borrowing lots of money. I'm much more interested in the Auto HD thing. HDR, sorry. That's very interesting.
Exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's been on the Xbox for a while, so that's Xbox tech that's made it to PC. So that could be kind of cool. And the EA Play, I think, is finally right. Is it? I think it's arriving tomorrow.
Playing nice.
Yeah.
I think EA Play is arriving tomorrow onto Game Pass. So as far as I'm concerned, that's free.
Yes.
But to be fair, EA Play...
We've been waiting a long time, though.
It was only £4 a month for EA Play. It was kind of worth it just for that, really. That's silly cheap.
Yes. And also the Steam integration, sort of.
Well, yeah, it wasn't really. But yeah, now well, to be fair, we'll now have Game Pass integration, which is, let's be honest, it's not really better, is it?
I'm hoping it's still using the same game files under Origin.
I don't know how Steam installed it. Did Steam not just install it to its own folder? I'm guessing if we play Plants vs Zombies, we need to reinstall it. But I am hoping the save game is on EA's system. I have no idea though. Not that we've done anything I really care about. But it was kind of nice playing some of my old games on EA. The Black's on there. Things like that. Oh shoot, that's the wrong way around on the signals. Yeah, as far as I can tell was satisfactory. I thought the whole world had just finally worked out what I worked out the day I played it, which was it was very pretty and has no depth whatsoever. But it's very pretty. Oh, it is so pretty. But prettiness isn't enough in a game. Hence why I'm playing this.
Yeah, added a little bit of depth. There's now power storage.
Oh boy, batteries.
Yeah,
Look out, people.
at pretty high tire too, I think.
It's like Factorio. Factorio took how long to add a second power source in? Like 2 years or something? It was Steam for the longest time. Okay, so we now have a one-way system. Yeah, so we could take 4 valuables trains. Not that that would work, but we could do. Oh good, they hit me a bit less now, they let me build stations. And police have completed Terraria though, so it's
Yes.
unfortunately with some of the latest stuff, like it's not really that much fun to say, hey, now we have to kill that boss that we took 4 attempts on and hope we get the other set of loot that we want out of it. So I much prefer journey mode through that. Not that I don't enjoy Terraria overall, but I don't like it that much. I just want to sit there and grind on a boss to super red drops or anything.
Yeah.
Now Borderlands, that's different. I do that all day long. How do I change the signal? Oops.
Oh, I can't use someone else's bus stops.
No, you cannot.
Boo.
Is that
Who's
real?
blue?
Don't know. Schalke. It's probably Schalke.
I am at least one blue.
dump a bus stop in the middle of your two, and you can figure it out.
Last night when I popped in, you were fighting some boss that had like openings in weird places.
Yes, the Moon Lord.
He's a fun guy.
Oh, is that? Oh, I did it right. My God, that never happens.
One of the random nature is hardcore facts is the concept of traumatic insemination.
Traumatic insemination.
Yeah.
God, I think we've had this discussion, and it's asked for consent.
Yeah, I wonder whether it works with that species.
What,
But
the Moon
there-
Lord?
No openings is no problem, because the male makes his opening in a traumatic fashion.
I don't. This doesn't exist in nature anywhere, right? You are talking about fiction somewhere, right?
I think it's a bug that does that.
Oh, okay, maybe an insect.
Makes a very literal penetration to the armor of the target.
It's got a hard on, it just has to use it.
I knew I would. I'd never. I need to have, when I play Transport Token, a big post-it note here that just says pass on the right or pass on the left, whichever is fine. But not what I do, which is I keep swapping over left and right constantly. So my trains go up, and then I have to build like a fancy crossover piece because
You can't remember which way around they're supposed to go.
Well, no, I can remember which way around they're supposed to go. I just didn't pay any attention to which way around they're supposed to go, and now I got it wrong. Because I'm a fool. Korhaka agrees with your weird drilling rape beetle. I assume the female is set up for it. Like, if I were to, heaven forbid, just get a syringe full of semen and shove it into a woman's armpit or stomach, she's not going to get pregnant. So I'm assuming this beetle is designed to...
They lay eggs.
Yeah, but you have to fertilise the eggs, which I assume is what the male was doing. I don't know.
I
I'm
think
not.
harm reduction will come into it.
You think what? Sorry.
Harm reduction will come to it. The females that can't cope with the method can't support the species.
Well, yes, I suppose. But what my point is, I guess there is some mechanism on the female to actually cope with that. Otherwise,
Well,
you
wounds
just...
and healing.
Yeah, but not that. It's like I said, if you can't just put sperm anywhere you like and expect a baby, that's not how it works. It has to go in certain places.
I guess the male aims.
Yeah, well, okay, but then he's not drilling a hole wherever he wants. He's drilling a specific hole.
I guess.
God,
Stop
why
putting
are we never
shelves
talking
up.
about anything pleasant? Not like putting shelves up. No. Measure once, cut twice. No, measure twice, cut once. Oh, that reminds me. I received a very cheering text message saying that my loan application has been approved. So next step is pushing. Actually, my solicitor's fine. I need to push the other lady, the other solicitor.
Well, if it's any consolation, or probably not any consolation, when I bought this place, the solicitor sat on their documents that we need to sign for about 2 months.
Did you not
And
just
when it
ring
came
them
to-
every single day?
No,
I would.
I had better things to do, like work.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I would ring. If I don't get a response from their solicitors
Sure.
by very soon,
Yeah.
I will ring them again. Hello, can we just verify what's going on?
Well, I was so laid back to my detriment. Well, I don't know who the buyers. No, it wasn't my buyers. It was the buyer's buyer or something like that. They basically hadn't pulled their finger out at all. And when it came to the day, the actual moving day, they hadn't even thought about having someone available to do the paperwork. And luckily, my not my solicitor, it was the estate agent actually chased them and said, look, is everything money moving through? Because today's moving day. And they're like, oh no, the person's on holiday. I'm like, don't you think you need to get someone on this right now? Because it's happening today,
Yeah.
right now. And they're like, and it was only until like half four in the day that we actually got our keys.
Yeah, well,
we were shitting bricks at that point.
Yeah. Well,
luckily we had a lot of friends to come and help and assemble the beds and help us
we've got no chain, so that helps a lot.
Yes.
But yeah, basically,
also you're not moving, so
yeah,
that
well,
also helps a lot.
But yeah, I don't want to. I want it to be done. I don't want there any situation where they could still go. Nah, I've changed my mind. That's still there until it's signed. That is a possibility. I just want that done, dusted, not to have to worry about it.
It's sort of hanging over your head at this point, and you're like kind of the strange thoughts start to creep in. You're like, oh, did I do this? Did I not do that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've done everything, and all I need to do now is transfer more money than I've ever seen in my entire life in my bank account.
It's funny money anyway. That's the way I look at it.
Well, as I said, you get this situation where if you ask someone how much they pay for the house, they say things like, "Oh, 170." I'm like, what you mean to say is £170,000, not 170. Yeah. And Rob lives in a posh bit of London, and there you hear phrases like, "Oh yeah, 1.3." It's like, that hurts. But yeah, you end up just not thinking of it as real money.
It's money you're never going to see because it just goes from one bank to another bank, basically.
Yes. Oh, so Korhak has summed up, by the way. The girl bugs pretend to be boy bugs. The boy bugs would not stab their penises into them. As a response, the boy bugs started stabbing everything with their penis. Well, I'm going to do it. Boys will be boys.
Gotta stab something with my cock.
I did see, what was it? It was like a girl when she's 13. It's like, do my friends think I'm pretty? Will I ever find a boyfriend or that? A boy when he's 13, can I fuck the sofa?
Important questions.
So true. Well, it's fuck the sofa or get told off for being a rapist.
Pie.
There was pie.
Oh. Erica had a whole movie series about this.
Oh, apple pie.
Oh, yes, sorry, yes.
Yes,
right.
What was it called? Why can't I remember the name?
American Pie.
American Pie. It wasn't called apple pie. I'm like, apple pie? That can't be the name.
It was an apple pie.
There was an apple pie, because, no. Welcome to Family Hour.
Are you here, Shulkin?
Yes.
Oh, Stallinghead Woods. You have a steel mill that's literally like 30 blocks away from an iron ore that you didn't tap. Why?
That might not have been there when he made it.
Yeah, they have both.
Fair enough. Shulkin. Okay. You have ore right next to your steel mill. Please do something with it. It's driving me up the wall.
You're not trained. You're not lost. Shut up. Thank you, Garhaka. That was an informative explanation of how bedbugs have sex. I appreciate that in a...
Disgusting manner.
Well...
I have a question.
It's a thing we know now.
Someone's put a Punfingley transfer station next to one of my platforms in purple.
Yeah.
It seems to be holding all the goods.
You better believe it, boy.
But my two trains are like, why aren't we getting any goods?
No, the difference is you're getting rid of the goods. I'm not.
Yeah, but why is it all on your... It's one shared platform.
Because you're getting rid of the goods and I'm not. Also, my ratings are 41 and yours are...
Yes, but I don't understand why they're not... So that's not one platform and I get... we all get access to the same pool, as it were.
No. So what happens is... I'll come to you in a minute, Millie. So every month, the station makes, let's say, 100 crates of goods. Your rating is 41%. No, your rating is 69%. My rating is 40%. So I will get... let's say I'll get 40% of the goods. You'll get 70% of the goods. But if I don't deliver the goods, you don't get my goods. That's not how it works. So what's happened is you've got rid of your goods, but I haven't got rid of mine. So mine are just accumulating because I'm terrible.
Ah, right. In that case, I was misreading the information and I shall flog that train.
So, Melly, no, this is a game called Transport Tycoon. This is a game that was released in 1995. No, that's the 1995. This is a modern open source remake, which is brilliant, and I love it. And I like it when people go, "Oh, is this one of your games?" Like, no, It's not. But thank you. No, it's really not.
One can try to make games inspired on it.
Absolutely, I am, but not today. I plan to. In fact, one of my very much next game projects is absolutely a homage in VR to Transport Tycoon with my own twist on it, which I really look forward to spending some time working on. There you go, Max. I'll get rid of the goods. And we'll see if this thing actually makes any profit. New vehicle. You. Oh my god, that is expensive. Okay, we'll have just a small goods van. Pop, pop. Oh, I miss having Andy around. I have to need my trains myself. Oops.
Aw.
I know.
I had dramatic moments where two trains were on the same rail section. Luckily, I avoided an collision.
Worst case scenario, slap a signal down, and if you're really panicking, just shout at me to pause the server. I can do it with about 5 seconds notice. Why would citizens celebrate? The goods trains arrived. Yay! Okay, how am I doing on valuables? Okay, I'm still full on goods. Bryn Hatton is still full of people. God. Oh my word. How much money are you making duplicate orders? Like 35 grand. Will do. I do like that. If you clone your most profitable train, as a rule of thumb, it's a good thing to do. Assuming your network's geared up for it. I'd love to see this in VR, a VR port of this with the landscape in the background and then all of the windows hovering so you could just place them all around you. Oh.
That would be superb, yeah. So you got like little TV screens.
Yes.
Yeah. And a reset button because you might reset them to something stupid, somewhere stupid.
Yeah, that would be. Well, I mean, you can do that here. I mean, you can pin the windows. So I pin the windows I want, then I hit delete to close the windows I don't want.
Yeah.
And it'd be even cooler in 3D, but in nearly 30 years, no one has done a decent 3D conversion of this, apart from the PlayStation 1 port, which was amazing and awful. It was amazing looking, but awful game. Yeah. It was funny because someone said to it, and I showed them. They went, because I said it played so badly, and I showed it on stream week before last, and they went, "Oh, that really does look very good." I'm like, "Yeah, I know." But
oh, I didn't know you could convert the depots just by hovering it, just putting that conversion tool over.
If they're as long as they're empty, yes.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course, mine weren't the time I did that previously. Sorry.
So how are these trains doing? 90,000. Okay, you're not quite making as much. It's The other thing about banks, they can't go bust. I mean, obviously.
In this game.
Bailouts for everyone.
Good Topper is going to make its money back in a mere 50 years. I do really like the visuals in this game though. There's something just crunchy about them. It's in a nice way. Well, you get a lot of these indie games. They're like, oh, it's retro, but they look shit. Like, they really look awful and go, oh, it's, it's retro. But when you actually
does a good job on the graphics.
Well, when you actually had games in this era, the VGA, the SVGA, the Atari ST, you made them look as good as you could. So I played a game called Xenocat, I think it was, at the Xbox. I think it was called Xenocanto, I think it was. Game Xbox. That wasn't it. Gatto? Something? Yeah, there we go. Gatto Roboto. So it's supposed to look a bit like a Spectrum game. Like, okay, but I can tell you, I'll pop a picture of it. So it's kind of interesting, but I will tell you for nothing that if a game like that came out on the Spectrum, it would have been fucking slated for not having any colour. So they didn't even program it in to have the same sort of colour the Spectrum would have. No one did monochrome games unless you wanted to absolutely get pulverised in the reviews. But if they'd done it with colour clash and done it to make as good as Spectrum game as you could have made, that would be brilliant. But this game, it's designed to look as good as they can within the limits of the engine, and therefore it looks good. Whereas I say I play a lot of these sort of try-hard indie games, and I'm like, this just looks awful. I want it to look cool and inspiring.
What are we talking about?
Games.
Okay.
I really like the art style in Transport Tycoon. It's nice, it's detailed, it's crunchy. It looks as good as an SVGA game ever looks. Whereas a lot of indie games, they have the try-hard shit indie style. Like
crunchy is definitely how I would describe it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there are. If you don't like, there are high-resolution graphics packs. For it.
I know. Yeah, I don't mind it. It's just different.
Yeah, the high-resolution graphics packs. There's something about the low detail that forces your eye to make up detail. The high-resolution ones look always too clean, I find.
That's fair. Yeah, I had a bit of fun with the new headset. It's quite fun.
I haven't heard a word you just said.
Hop, 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 hop.
Hop, 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 hop. I think he said, I had a lot of fun with the new headset.
Yes.
But what he actually said was, the headset.
Yeah. That's what I said though, yeah.
You did kind of cut out a little bit, so I think you just
Okay.
walked away during it.
Wait, do I have my voice thing on? Oh, I'll turn voice suppression off. Usually that fixes it.
Yeah. Apparently, noise suppression gets rid of noise. If you're talking so much it sounds like noise, then, that's a you problem. No, the G2 is amazing, isn't it? Like, what did you have before? An Oculus?
Just Oculus Rift, yeah.
Oculus Rift. So you've gone from a CV1 to a G2. How's that jump?
That's a pretty big jump, yeah.
Because I went from a Quest 2 to a G2. And that's a hell of a jump.
But yeah, the frame rate seemed alright, but that's probably because I was just messing around in the default scene or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yes, yeah. But yeah, try playing No Man's Sky or Project Cars.
Oh yeah, I'm probably struggle with those. But I don't know if I really play those to be fair. So not really games I played personally, but
yeah, my point is play something that's a normal pancake game with good graphics.
Yeah.
Kohaki, do you not know what SVGA is? Super Video Graphics Adapter.
Hooray.
Right, really? It is array. I always thought it was adapter. Well, I've learned something useful today. No, not useful. Yeah. So yeah, VGA was, well, there are a number of VGA standards, but the most common was generally 320 by 200 and 256 colors from a palette of 262144. SVGA, you had two main SVGA modes, 640 by 480 in 256 or 800 by 600. I know, how many pixels?
So many pixels. I remember growing up, I could never remember what it was called, so I would just call it the blue one.
The blue what?
Cable.
It is generally blue.
Blue
It
header.
is generally blue, yeah.
Oh,
At least the ones we had were, so, yeah. Honestly, the first thing I noticed about the G2, like, compared to the other headsets I've tried, is the thing that presses up against your face. I don't know what it's called, but that's really soft compared to, like, the foam that the Rift has.
yes. It's not velour, I don't think.
Blur.
Velour. So I need to.
Brigand's balloon.
I need to quickly look up a HDMI cable I bought, see how long it is, and buy one 5 meters shorter. Okay. 15 meters, I thought it was. I need a 10 meter. 10 meter HDMI 4K. £62? Yeah. Oh, wait. Or, if I want an Aztec A1, £62. If I just want a GC Play, 11 quid. That sounds much more like it. So normally, I run all sorts of high resolution, high frame rates over shit cables from Amazon Basics, and they are fine. But running a 15 meter 60 hertz 4K HDR is apparently a little bit beyond it.
I think old games did try to be as good graphical as they could, but with the old tech they couldn't be that good. So the game design had proportionally more to carry the game for.
Wow, I think that's a little bit of rose-tinted bollocks, to be honest. Let's be honest, most games from back then were shit. Like,
Do you
they,
think that
they
modern
were.
games receive more game design attention than the games of old?
Yes. Well, I mean, you can't vaguely say the games of old. I mean, Pac-Man is a game of old. Pong is a game of old. They're not games of, you know, great gameplay design or anything. You know, they're all right, but not like they weren't really brilliantly designed. They don't hold up these days. So remember, I've got access to Leeds Arcade. I play a lot of these games, and some of them I wouldn't pay unless you played me. Some of the other games, they're not even as complex as they're like a Flash demo. So I would never go back to them. They were good at the time, and a lot of the time they were good because they looked good rather than because they were good games at the time. I mean, Outrun's pretty good. I mean, Outrun overall has mostly stood the test of time. It is a reasonably good-looking, awesome-sounding racer that does play quite well. Hang On's pretty good. Enduro Racer, on the other hand, is a steaming pile of wank. And I played it, and my childhood was ruined because I'm like, I used to love this, and it's awful.
I felt that sometimes. Yeah.
Sorry, I need to interrupt.
Yeah.
I need a bit of help, some unfuckery.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
So Wedston South. I've basically put the station.
Wait, hold on. I'm not that quick. Hold on. What? Wedston like me. Okay, Wedston South, yeah. Alright.
So I've got this conflict. Basically, the station's in the wrong place. Basically, is it worth me flattening the station and putting it down the side?
Why is the station in the wrong place? Because
I put it in the wrong place a long time ago when I couldn't afford to. I probably could afford to now.
So, hold on. What's the problem specifically?
So the train coming from the south wants to come into the platforms. It can't because both platforms are occupied. But what it will do is block the entry. I've taken some signals out here.
Yeah.
What it will do is sit right up next to the station lights and go, I want to get in.
Yeah.
Or the other two are like, I can't do anything because now my exit is blocked.
Okay.
Not that they can go anyway.
Would you like me to twiddle that to a slightly better design, or?
Well, I'm just wondering how I fix the lights. That's what I'd like to do.
So see the train that's trying to, is that train trying to come in or that train trying to leave?
I've stopped them all. They're all stopped.
They're all stopped. Okay, so
yeah.
pop a one-way path signal in front of the train to the south.
Path signal.
Path signal. That's
One-way path signal.
One-way path signal. The bottom right one, yeah.
In front of it.
In front of it, yeah. I assume it's heading right. Perfect. Now
Yeah.
put a one-way block signal. I mean, the only place you can put it, one tile south
One-way
of
block
the depot.
signal? What's
Yeah,
a
the
one-way
bottom
block
left.
signal?
That's the bottom left signal. So
Oh,
put
okay.
that. Now, before I tell you to do the next bit,
These are all two-way, bear in mind. All these bits of track ahead of it.
I am about to save the game.
Yeah.
So if it goes wrong, we can revert back 2 secs.
Okay. If I completely crash my vehicles.
Okay, so it just saves. Right. Remove both of those signals and you're fine.
These two.
Yep.
Two
Now,
station ones.
Before you do that, let me talk you through it. So that path signal, what happens? The train goes up to the path signal and it stops until it can reserve enough track to park on. So what it will do is it will reserve all the track up north, up and left until the station. Then it will sit there. See, nothing's moving. That's fine.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, they aren't stopped. They've all stopped
Yeah.
at the moment.
what I would do is I would hit go on the two trains in the depot, in the station first.
Okay.
That's cool. Now hit go on train 4. There you go. So hit go on train 4 and it should be fine. It will just sit there. For a little heart attack then. It goes just before. What it will do in a second, give it a sec. There you go. Now it can reserve the track. Now
I
it's
can see the
reserved
colour
in.
change.
And the
Lovely.
colour change. There you go. The other, you can always put more so. So if you have a terminus, this is the way to do it. You have a one-way path signal setting up the entrance. And you don't have any more signals anyway. That's the confusing bit. It's all done using that path signal.
All right. You expect to have like a couple more knocking around, wouldn't you?
Yes, but if you put
That'll
more,
screw
if you
it up.
put more down, what happens is the train will then reserve the path between the path signal and the next signal, and then it will go up to the other signal, going, "Well, now I can't proceed." So this is pretty much perfect. I mean, the other thing you can do is you can always put more.
Put that station down.
Well, no, just put more platforms on.
I was thinking about that. Yeah, I don't need that. Well, I didn't need that. My previous iteration of the trains on this particular route were all about 5 long, and now they're 7 long, so they got extra capacity.
Yeah, that looks good.
There was a time when this would be sitting empty most of the time. I'm just watching the trains.
I love that. I honestly, my heart just, I had a, you know, you get that little rush of adrenaline when I said go, and the train just started to move upwards. I'm like, oh no, and then it just stopped. It only moved like 3 pixels, but that was enough to.
The trouble is these trains are also much faster, so strictly speaking, I didn't need to make them bigger. I needed to make them either the same size or slightly smaller.
Are they? I guess you have orders to go into the depot on the way out.
I think so, yeah. Make
I
sure
mean,
they're serviced because
for-
they can sit there for a while.
For efficiency, you want that on the way in, really, because obviously this is added to the travel time of the delivery. But then, of course, they
that
might
money?
break down. Yeah, it's always a pain.
Right, so the other one's just got to the station. 37 grand, lovely. I suppose it's all the time. This train's here. It's collecting goods, so that's a good thing. So means they can potentially ramp up their output.
Yes.
Lovely output. I think the best bit I like about this is when you get 2 trains passing each other on the opposite sides of the track. You're like, oh, wee! My inner child goes wee anyway. I wonder if there's a mod that lets you use other people's railway track for a fee.
That would be quite cool, actually, wouldn't it? So your ones could
Because
go.
that's the only, that's
it'd
the
be
only one that makes
abusable.
logically sense.
you
wouldn't let them use it for free. You'd have to make
Well,
them pay.
Other game can do it with
Yeah, but
public
you-
stations.
Right. So why would I not just stop my train on the way into your best terminus.
Jam it all up, yeah.
Or
Griefing.
Well, you
Is
would
it griefing by proxy?
make them share the station so the trains don't go over each other tracks, but like you share the passengers and the cargo. So if both players come from different cities to a common station, the passengers could route through it, and one player would get the payment for one leg and the other would get the payment for the other leg.
Yeah, but what I mean is, I would find your most profitable station, buy up the 3 cheapest trains, and then just park one in each platform.
Just make them fail across the station.
Yeah.
Station concourse. Just leave them there. Oh well, I'll get around to it.
Oh, waiting for free.
See what
car.
happens. My electric train apparently has smoke coming out of it. It caught fire because it sat there for so long.
That's how electric trains work? No, wait.
Catching fire. Yep, that definitely works. Well done, Adam.
Does it?
Yep.
You sounded
Yep, I
very
just
slightly sarcastic. I'm like, oh no, it's gone boom.
No, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Perfectus. The problem is that it's waiting for a full load, and I've put more grain and more livestock carriages on, so maybe there's a disproportion.
Yeah, I mean, what I normally do is I normally have a grain train and a livestock train.
Grain
Yeah.
train.
You can also, of course, use waypoints. So your grain train will use a different part of your. So you can assign platforms via those.
Oh, for the grain train to go to one and the livestock to go to the other. Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Could I just say the grain train sounds like a great name for a cereal?
All aboard the, I'm gonna Google that. Grain train. It's
Choo.
great. What is it? Oh, it's a shop. It's called the Grain Train.
Oh, okay. It could also be like a drinkable, like protein drink or something. The grain train.
Oh wow! So there's a world record set, the largest ever. Oh my god, that's enormous.
What you got?
Largest ever railway, a grain rail. See, this is the thing. I love Transport Tycoon. Don't get me wrong.
But, ...
But why can't you do that like sensibly? God, just look at that.
Why can't you
railway.
do what? Sorry, you're looking at something mad.
Yeah, I've linked you thing. 167 hoppers in the train.
Bloody hell.
Not 1001.
Wait, is that how many carriages there is? Or...
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not. I was going to say something, Shao, and I won't say it. But I know what you're referring to.
God, imagine something went wrong on one of the rear carriages. You wouldn't notice for like a tiny minute because it takes so long for you to see it.
I've seen American trains over a mile long before. It's mind-boggling. They just go past you for an hour, just very slowly. You're like, what the hell?
God, imagine being at like a train station and that thing goes past and you're in your car.
Yes.
What if there's anywhere in the world where there's like 2 places close enough and they have like a loop going around that you could have one train go around that loop and just take stuff off it and put stuff on it as
I tried that. I once had a train like 2,000 carriages long, and I put them 2,000 squares apart, so the train didn't move. It just turned around. Like it just. But yeah, it takes like 5 years to load and offload. There is a penalty for doing that.
Ah, that's a shame. Speaking of mods, actually, what did you make of that list that I threw you?
That was a very long list.
It was quite a list.
Yeah.
You did say you wanted a mod pack, so.
True.
I guess most of those are like, at least the latter of the bunch are quality of life stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not really unhappy with Terraria's quality of life. Like,
That's it. I mean, a lot of the ones are there because the mod version is 1.35, not 1.4. So a lot of them are re-adding 1.4 stuff to the mod pack.
have they still not? 1.4's been out for ages.
Yeah, I think the current planned release date for 1.4 is like summer of this year. For the mod version, I mean. It probably also doesn't help that they did a couple mini patches after 1.4, so they're probably trying to update now to the last version of 1.4 rather than the original 1.4, I guess. I don't know how much difference there is there, but
Well, but if it's been such a long time, why has it not been added?
I don't know.
Well, sort it out.
Yeah, Brett, fix it.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, unless you find anything else you prefer to do, that's a pretty fun list as far as I can tell. Was it just gone quiet?
No, I'm as ever. I'm
Thinking.
Well, I'm working, but yeah.
What? Working.
Working.
Twerking.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh, baby.
Hobba, hobba.
that I believe.
There's like a song out here that combines working and twerking. The lyrics.
What's it called?
Just what called?
This thing that Shalka, this song Shalka was mentioning.
Oh.
I'm trying to find it.
So why is Brynhaven so unbelievably full of passengers?
Is that a good thing?
Oh wait, I've got a stock alert. Am I about to buy an Xbox? No.
Which stock is it? GME?
Oh,
Xbox S.
GME.
Laugh!
Larf, indeed.
I found it.
What are we doing tonight, Brian? The same thing we do every night, Brain.
We hold the stock.
We hold. Yeah. We refuse to sell.
It's such a dumb meme. Was it even
Surprising how effective it wound up being, though.
Well, I don't really know what happened. Everyone was going on about it, and then everyone just went, "Ah, we're just bored of that now." So what happened? Did anyone note go bust?
I don't know. I think a lot of the people from those groups pulled out, and then people reinvested because they thought it was over again.
Yeah, a
so-
lot of people lost money, but that was
Yeah.
to be expected.
Yeah, it happened again on the 10th of March. It spiked up again to $265 up from like 40. Which is kind of amusing. I'm curious to see what happened. It might just be a constant up and down like this now, but
Yes, I don't really know what happened. I know they were going, "Oh, they'll go bust and we'll make money and blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Okay, is that what happened?"
probably not. No.
Man, I want to fix this station, but I can't without raising the land, and that cost me $50,000 a click.
What?
Ouch.
Pounds, sorry.
It's not cheap.
This is so much though.
Because
Oh.
otherwise I would just build a land bridge across the middle of stuff.
That would be pretty funny.
Oh, well, you could do it. I mean, eventually, as with every time you play this game, after a while, you just end up with infinite money. Oh, God damn it, my
Infinite money.
CPU's at 3%. What's going on?
Cool it down, man. What are you doing?
Oh, I could run...
Doing your racy games again.
Hold on, so I could run... How many copies of Transport Tycoon? I could run 30.
Ooh. £419,000 for a tunnel.
Would you run those 30 copies in the same way that you built these windows for the train? So it's like an inception of it.
I used to play this game on 3 monitors
Oh my
like that.
God.
Yeah.
I know a mate that does that with like RuneScape. He's got like 5 accounts and he plays them all at the same time, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Multi-boxing's a
Bro,
thing.
what are you doing?
Are there any games that are like designed for multiboxing?
Oh,
I guess
multi-
the
Eve?
Mumbox are, but
Wow, it's not designed.
It's not designed. No, because you'd be
Eve's
limiting your
cottoned on
market.
to the fact that people want to do that and let you do it now actively, rather than
Warcraft
giving up on it.
actively banned multi-boxing in the last patch.
Wow.
Like there was
Sweet.
something very special about seeing a multi-boxer when like 25 or 5 druids would come along, all switch simultaneously, massacre all the mobs, loot all of it, and then fall off again. It was just
Speaking of RuneScape, actually, I don't know if you've like heard this at all, but like they fucked up massively with their servers somehow, and no one's been able to log into that game for like 2 weeks.
What, RuneScape?
Yeah.
Wow, no, I'm surprised that's not been used.
No, so am I. But like, it amuses me because like some of these people probably spend like most of their lives on that game, and like they might have just been like snapped back to reality because of it.
I played a lot of Diablo 2, that was the same. I can't log in.
So I've worked in companies where, like, I mean, Airtel was an example. Like, if you remember Airtel, so it was a voice recording place. Yeah, if you actually went down to it, how many people actually understood how the file system worked?
A handful?
2, maybe even
Two,
1.
definitely, to the developers.
Yeah,
But I think
And
that some
now
of the
imagine-
testers like myself
now
had to
imagine-
understand it, but we didn't.
Now imagine one of them's ill, and one of them's on holiday. I
Yeah.
can easily see something like that broken for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because
So they, yeah.
COVID,
well,
got to self-isolate if you're unwell.
well,
I
yeah.
think the users are crying pretty loudly.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Cool Ghostbusters. Always
That's-
works.
Cool Ghostbusters, please fix my RuneScape.
Yes.
I'm glad you're not in charge of anything. I'm going to let you guys watch this train. I'm just going to grab a drink. Brett, if it's something that's interesting, please wait. If it's your usual toss, just go ahead.
Wow, thanks.
Harsh. Or should we go rude?
Indeed.
Diddly doodly diddly doodly doodly diddly doodly diddly 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 doodly diddly
Calm down, Flanders. Diddly.
diddly diddly diddly.
Diddly.
Wish that wouldn't do that. I'm going to put one of these down. I don't want that kind of light. I want a different kind of light. It looks like that, but it's not that.
So particular.
Fussy bastard. Oops.
The city I've decided to set my stuff up in is growing so fast.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm streaming a stock alert. What's it now? What's it
Yeah, I can hear it.
I can hear it.
Yes.
For how long?
I have a question, bro. How can I just be an utter fuck to everyone who cares about me and have them just love me a little more each day without being a cat?
Does not compute.
Well, the cats get away with it, so why can't I?
Be a politician and increase minimum wage slightly.
Controversial. I like it.
Okay. So I was looking at the RuneScape thing to see what they've done. Apparently, on March the 4th, they had a regular Monday update, which somehow managed to stop players from being able to log in at all. And since then, they've been trying to fix it.
I don't understand how that's not major news. I mean, RuneScape. I mean, it's massively played. It's a really big game.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't log on to Fortnite or something, you know, or GTA. Oh, so GTA this Friday, GTA the patch is in. They have made it live. It's like, whoa, that was full marks on them. 0 out of 10 for the fact they didn't.
So apparently, as of January 2021, they have between old school and current RuneScape around 160,000 people playing at any given time.
And right now they have, 0. Never mind.
0. So they had to in their attempt to fix it, they had to disable login permissions for accounts and gradually remove their login permission. I don't know. Someone fucked up, real bad.
Well, it does happen.
What is,
I mean, even after all these
what does
years,
implicit mean?
explicit means right. And specifically, implicit means you told your train to go from station A to station B. But the only way to achieve this is to go through station C. So it's telling you it will go to station C because it doesn't have a choice.
Oh yeah, Adam, do you remember that game I was talking to you about the other night, Robocraft or something, and how I was like, oh shit, this game's dead? No, it's apparently not. They usually average 500 to 1,000 players, but they had the same thing as RuneScape did, but they fucked up the servers are an update.
Wow. Unless you meant what the word implicit means, because I can also explain that.
No, in game.
Okay, in game, yeah.
In gaming context, yeah.
Oh, there's a new Marvel show on starting Friday, isn't there?
There is Captain Marvel versus the Winter Soldier. No, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel and the
Sorry.
versus Winter Soldier, yeah.
That's it. No, and not versus.
Oh right.
I'm not sure what to make of it. I'll probably watch it anyway, but
Well, they had quite good chemistry on screen. They were a funny duo. This one hopefully should be a bit more punchy than WandaVision.
I like their dynamic between the two. I just was never massively fond of the Falcon character on his own, I guess.
Are you being racist? Is that what this is?
No, I'm not being racist.
Because he's black.
It's not because he's black. He could
Do
have
you
been
call
white.
him
if he were-
Captain Black America? Is that what this is from? Have you not seen that? I love that. Captain Black America, I love that. Yeah, 'cause
Is that okay?
he's now got the shield. I mean, he obviously isn't Captain America because he's not, a captain in the army. But yeah, he's got the shield. He was given it at the end of Endgame. Sorry if that's a spoiler. I think you should have watched it by now. But it's interesting seeing. I mean, I'm assuming they're still getting Hollywood levels of pay, but it's interesting seeing, people like Paul Bettany and Elizabeth Olsen essentially doing TV, because TV is usually considered a big step down from Hollywood. And these people were in the biggest of the big films, so it's interesting.
Did you see the making of thing that they released?
Of what?
There's a making of WandaVision on Disney Plus now.
Yes.
I have behind the scenes. Yeah.
There's lots of behind the scenes stuff there. Yeah, it's behind the scenes for Mandalorian as well, which I actually enjoyed as much as the actual
Oh yeah.
film.
Yeah, because
The
I mean
series.
the what's it called? Not the dome. What's it called? Damn it! You've watched it. Tell me. It's called the
The
sphere.
fly.
Oh,
The background. The
yeah, one of the many things that Epic is pushing.
wall. Mandalorian epic wall. What's it called?
Epic Wall.
Yes, I know that groundbreaking LED sound. What's it called? I know what it is. Yeah, actually, let me pop this picture in this, because this is actually one of the best pictures that shows you, so you can see where the set finishes and the CGI starts. But it's in real time, and then they later on replace it with much higher quality CGI. It's really, really clever. Damn it, what's it called? Blah, 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 blah. So as they move the camera, the CGI knows where the camera is and renders it appropriately. So it really, really makes stuff look convincing. Because all of the lighting is correct from above.
Yeah, so they don't need to like edit out the green reflection you get off the green screen.
Well, it's not even that. It means that if you've got the sky up there and the sun is to the right and there's a big volcano to your left, that's what will reflect.
Yeah.
Another stock alert. Just people with Game Pass S, Series S.
Did you manage to get one then, or?
No, S. I don't want an S.
Oh, you want the X, right?
Isn't the stock alert supposed to sort of tell you about things you want to know about rather than not?
I've kept them both ticked because once you get S's, X's should come in at the same time.
That makes sense.
But it's got a name. It really has. The art wall, the video wall, But yeah, it's a really clever bit of tech, and it's a progression on the gravity tech that they use. A similar thing, but yeah, you can see there where the set finishes and the CGI begins, but it's good enough. So a lot of the time they didn't bother replacing it. It was absolutely good enough for slightly out of focus backgrounds.
Yeah,
it's really, really, really good, and it's cheap, relatively speaking. It's cheaper than certainly doing it properly, obviously, and it's cheaper than most of the CGI techniques. It means that we've actually got this fascinating new approach to filming.
I mean, if it wasn't cheaper, they wouldn't do it, right?
Well, they might. Sometimes you do stuff as a loss just for the tax breaks.
That is true. So is that why you continue with Voltuscraft? Damn.
Aww.
I'm sorry.
Aww.
Cheap shot.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing is, sometimes when I don't mind doing stuff that will make a loss because I pay less tax. So sometimes, actually, yes. Also, fuck you.
Yeah, that's warranted.
Oh no! My train engine has capacity for post, but my wagons are full of people.
You can
Now,
refit. You can refit that though.
Maybe I should.
You should be able to refit it.
I can't fill any cargo too handily with this one.
Here comes my train. So, Tad, is it you doing Bunworth Falls? That's green. What colour is green, Tad?
Me.
Poo colour.
No.
Never mind. Okay, I was just wondering if anybody else is doing this bank.
Tan?
Poo,
Nope.
yeah.
I don't do bank.
Banks are good. Banks plus transfers plus planes is a super duper money spinner. Okay, so how are we doing on these woods? Ratings. Excellent. Cool.
Yeah, I discovered that Time Rifters is a game that the Time Warpers people have done previously.
That's the middle one, isn't it? Was that the first one they did?
I guess it's the first one. Time Clickers is the middle one. The
And Time Warpers
free-to-play
is the
clicker
next
game.
Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed Time Warpers. Really, like, this is great. I mean, it is very samey, but the stuff you do is quite good, so I don't mind it being samey. You know, no one ever refuses to play chess because every game is the same, sort of thing. It's not quite as good as chess, but you know, it comes in a second.
Time Rifters seemed like a more ambitious game design. And I'm kind of confused that they went and developed the progression-based thing out of all the elements that they had into the other games.
Pun thing there we go. Yeah, I mean, Time Warpers, it's very incremental. Like I guess that it would be, and I've now unlocked it. It's the power up that lets you have less waves per, less monsters per wave.
But even as an incremental game, the Time Rifters is kinda interesting. In that you get 5 maps and you get earned gold and buy upgrades within it. And then it's a quite short run, not an infinite run like in most incremental games. But it's long enough that it's not trivial how one would optimally upgrade through it. But then it's not too long that you couldn't learn it by memory.
Sounds a little bit like Soda Dungeon. If you played that one,
I have not.
that was a oh my god, they made a lot of money. Soda Dungeon. And yeah, you've got a team of adventurers, and you send them off onto a quest, and then you see how well they do, or you watch them, or you help them. Yeah, I really like Time Warpers because, unlike most incremental games, this one actually has you can sit there and massively increase your character's throughput, your team's throughput, whereas many games don't have that. You're like, I'd like to play the game, I'd like to spend my time progressing this quicker, and they usually have extremely simple gameplay mechanics, whereas the custom weaponry setup in Time Warpers are like, oh no, this is awesome. Like, you can configure how many bullets your gun fires and the spread. Like, hey, this is super cool. Yeah, thoroughly unexpected, enjoyable game. Yeah, Henry, that's my stock alarm telling me there's an Xbox S in stock.
I guess this is a good problem to have. Some time ago I discovered that the White Corporation had 3 million extra. I'm gone for a little while. Now I have 4 million extra to spend.
Sorry, would you like me to play the world's tiniest violin for you?
No, with this money I can buy the world's largest violin.
Actually, I don't think you can. Violins are very expensive. Most expensive violin. I bet it's more than 3 million. Most expensive violin went for $16 million. And that was 5 years ago. Wow. Someone bought the violin for 16 million, then anonymously donated it to a world-class violinist to play for the rest of her life. Wow, that's some money.
Dedication, isn't it?
Well, that means you must really like listening to that woman play that violin. I mean, maybe let's look at. Oh, that's the ultimate simp right there.
What's a simp?
A simp. When you will purchase.
Sympathizer?
No, simp.
Or
S-I-M-P.
gets him in trouble.
Where you would purchase goods for a lady in the hope that she would then have carnal relations with you.
Oh.
Don't quite know I would say sympathetic. Like, I don't quite know what its derivation is. Simp etymology. Great, simp. Abbreviation is simpleton. I don't think it is. I think. All right. The exact origin and etymology word simp in the slang sense is unknown. Fair enough. Which is surprising, you know how new it is. But yeah, essentially someone who would donate $1,000 to a streaming girl and the hope that, quote unquote, they would become her girlfriend. She would become their girlfriend. Like, literally, you get the, donate at least $5 and see your message on the screen, or do that, and the message will be, will you be my girlfriend?
Yes. Seen that. Right, I've seen it on Davey 504 doing things like that to sort
God.
of support people, and not with a message in that. It's like, you know, break your guitar. Here's $69 or whatever.
Yeah.
Cut the string, something like that. Then he gives another like $600. Cut another one, you know.
Who
So
was
you've got
that?
a four-string guitar. You know.
Was that Davey 454 or something else?
504.
504, Dave 504. He cracks me up.
He's great, yeah.
The thing is, he's really big, and he's kind of, maybe he's faux humble about it, but he seems quite humble, because did you see it when he goes onto people's live streams, and it's brilliant. It's utterly brilliant, because then he's like, play this, I mean, they're like, are you Davey 504? And he's like, no. He can't find anyone who like live streams music who doesn't know who he is and going, oh my god. And he is really good as well. It really, really is. So simp is a portmanteau of sissy and pimp, apparently. Yeah.
Sissy's an insult.
Yes. Oh. Emmy, what's the wall called in Mandalorian?
The wall?
The wall, the light LED wall.
Oh, bollocks.
The volume.
The volume.
Volume.
Yeah.
It's called volume. That's it. Yes, a simp is the opposite of pimp. As in the song Sipping on Some Syrup by 3 6 Mafia in 1999, which was obviously released on February 6, 2020, and it's used as an antonym for pimp. So obviously a pimp is the coolest thing you can be, whereas a simp is the least cool thing you can be in this particular rapper's...
I was going to say, being a pimp's generally frowned upon.
Well, yeah, but you're cool.
If it's what I think it means.
You have all the ladies, and you get the cool pimp hat. Do you know what a pimp hat?
No,
your
because
pimp hat, would you wear one?
I don't kidnap females and
Well,
make them have sex with other people to give me money.
I mean, the kidnapping, that's not part of it. I mean, that is...
That's quite frowned upon, yeah.
Well, that is frowned upon. But, I mean, just to be clear, you definitely don't want a pimp hat. I will...
I don't know. I mean, what are we missing out on?
Well, see, now he's like, well, maybe, I mean, I'll just link you pimp hats. So, I mean, if there's a hat there, you're like, you know what? I could rock that hat.
I'm a baller.
You let me know. Well, not a baller, because a baller is someone who plays basketball. I mean, not like that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you look a right woof. Wow.
So what would they do in a TV show called Simp My Ride?
You got a completely stock Fiat Multipla.
Why did they always stop at the A?
It's awful. It was just like, what, the Multipla? What, even?
Oh, new bank under construction near Prunville.
Prunville, you say?
Prunville, Prunn.
A little too close to Pruneville, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Hello. Don't miss much.
Max has decided that he will not be wearing a pimp hat. We've also worked out that simp is an antonym for pimp.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh.
Honestly, Brad.
Interesting, isn't it?
Although I could also understand that it's a CC and a pimp.
Yes,
that's somehow like self-pimps or something.
So that's more of a retcon. So because there is simper, which means to smile in an affectedly coy or ingratiating manner. But as everybody knows, in 3 6 Mafia in 1999, they recorded the song Sippin' on Some Syrup, which was released on February 6, 2000. And in that song, they had the lyric, I'm a trill working the wheel, a pimp, not a simp. So, antonym for pimp. Which is fine. I mean, you know, while Max is quite correct, a pimp is generally a very frowned upon social status. It is the opposite of a simp. You know, a pimp does get all the ladies. I mean, you know, what he does with them is obviously not socially acceptable, generally speaking. But a simp gets none of the ladies. despite trying
and throwing his money at them.
and throwing his money at them. Yeah.
But I wonder how much. I mean, just think of an indecent proposal for a moment. I wonder how much money people, in general, or women in general, assuming that that's what they want, would sort of, what their minimum would be before they start to consider that as a genuine offer.
Well, I would say for nothing, for £300 million, I would definitely have sex with Brett. Definitely. Right. And for
start saving up now.
For 250 million, I'd say still £2.50. No. So somewhere in that region between £2.50 and 250 million is my no. I will not have sex with you, Brett. So
should we test this theory then? And go with different numbers. 2,000.
Well,
no.
No, I think not.
It's got at least 7 noughts, if not 8, on the end of it.
7 noughts, bloody hell! So at least 10 million. So Max, you saying that you'd sleep with Brett for 10 million? 10 million pounds.
I'll give him a kiss for that at least, yeah.
I think I would kiss. What do you mean, like a peck on the lips or a smooch?
Oh, I don't know. French, I think.
Okay, so yeah, I think I would French Brett for 150,000. I think, without even thinking twice, I would make out with Brett for £150,000 paid in advance.
I feel like kissing someone for me would be much lower than that, but then, like sex or whatever would be much higher. I feel like I cared less.
Well, yes, but as I said, 150,000 to kiss you and £250 million to have sex with you, which I think is a fair price. And I think what I'm trying to say, Brett, is that's how much I think you're worth. Brett's an extremely attractive man. I'd like to know that he's about 9'10".
I don't think height intrinsically makes you attractive.
Well, if you're further away from me and I have quite bad eyesight, it probably does.
Random statistics.
I guess you could draw some interesting comparisons with different actions with that like how much you do for X kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
I punch you in the face for about £6.
Yeah, I'd probably say the same. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting PayPal account out.
but then like you go to some extremes that you go, okay, how much to bite someone's finger off or something?
Oh my god, I would sooner have sex with you than bite your finger off. I think because one of those you would recover quite quickly from the trauma, and the other one you'd be stuck with that trauma for the rest of your life.
Well, I guess I'd say okay, what stage of violence to you is higher than sex with someone in terms of trauma?
Permanently removing a body part, I'd say, is higher.
So if you're clipping my nails, that's a higher.
If one comes to very extremes, it can be very limiting. Like, is there some kind of transaction that the rest of your life could not make up for it? Because I imagine that if one would be given infinite money and you would be able to spend infinite money for the rest of your life, that you would only be able to have finite fun with it. So in theory, some transaction might be so horrible that the rest of your life could not offset that.
I guess we don't really know that, right? Because the people that tend to have infinite money tend to be have a. I don't want to say a specific
reserved
mindset.
is the word looking for.
Yeah, but well, I guess so. But I was going to say they tend to be very business minded, and they tend to have goals that they tend to be going for, which is where they got a lot of the money from. And they'll continue doing that a lot of the time. So like Jeff Bezos has infinite money, but will keep doing business stuff because that's sort of what drives him, right? And that's how he got there in the first place. Like someone that wants to do wants to do drawing for their life probably won't be in that situation because it's not a mindset that tends to lead to that situation, right?
So you're saying that Jeff Bezos would probably try and charge you more?
No, I'm saying that the whole infinite money. We don't like. You'd run out of stuff to do with infinite money. You don't know because like the people with the infinite money
Well-
don't tend to have that creative a mindset to do stuff with it. I guess.
Well, you say that, but like, I mean,
Not
there's
every
there's
single
that,
one,
There's
but-
that guy going to the moon. No, I mean, obviously not every single one. That's why we don't have a real life Batman or a real life Iron Man.
Yeah.
Sadly.
That we know of.
Whoa,
But we could.
good point.
True story, bro.
But yeah, there might be some point in your life where you like should be start spending rather than accumulating stuff. And I guess leaving up too big an inheritance to your offspring if you choose to make one or more.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the super rich
You
have
don't
said
have to
they're
make
not
them.
they're not leaving their money to their children because they don't want them to have the same life they had. That it seems to us that's the perfect life, but to them they're like we didn't enjoy that at all, and we don't
Yeah, I
want
think-
it.
I think a nice mindset to have when you're in that kind of situation is to help them get like all the education and stuff that they need. Oh, I'm cutting out again, aren't
No,
No?
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 Oh.
We were listening, believe it or not.
I? Say like
oh burn.
but like they tend to want to give them like the education and all the stuff they need
Yeah.
to make their own decisions.
but
and
but
then
not the
whether
life
that's
of
good or
idle
bad.
luxury.
Yeah. Which makes sense. I don't know. I guess like in a way, having to earn that kind of makes it worth more to them. Maybe you enjoy it more if you. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
It's
mean,
You
like-
certainly
difficult.
value it more if you've earned it rather
Oh,
than
yes.
just given it. That's, I think, the thing.
I'm speaking from like the opposite
Okay,
position.
sure.
Yes, because I'm like 23 and I've like had only a couple jobs really. Like, I've been doing still mostly in education for most of my life. So I don't know. That's all went. I guess I had like that 1 year where I was doing the indie project and then I've gone back to education, and then after that, I guess I'll be finding out how fucked I am.
Alright, what am I doing wrong here with these signals?
Where are we looking?
At Fingley.
Say it properly.
Fingley.
Trinfingley.
Trenfin.
Yeah,
Oh, are we
Trinfingley.
doing English place names that I can't pronounce again?
Okay, so what we're trying to do.
Apparently.
So that station on the top right. Well, okay. So the reason that train can't go anywhere, why can't the train go anywhere? Talk me through it. Why has that train got a red light?
What do you do?
No. Why
They
do
need
trains?
to go from
why
the
do
depot
trains
into
have
the
red
station.
lights?
To not go.
Why do trains have lights? What causes a red light to appear?
Someone builds it.
Another train in the way.
A train in the way. What train is in the way?
The one that's in the signal.
The same train.
Yeah.
Very well.
Okay, so you need to make it. Imagine this train is 10,000 carriages long. Okay, and it leaves.
Uh-huh.
Can that train hit itself in theory?
No.
Yes. Try again. So on the way
Oh,
out
if
for
it's 10,000 long?
yeah, it will hit itself, so it can't go. So on the out, so you want that train
Oh,
to
it's just
drive.
too close.
You want that train to drive left a bit and then down a bit into Trenfingley Woods, and then I see you want it to come up and take the other path. Is that correct?
One
You wanna
does, the other one doesn't.
You-
One takes the path it's on, and the other one takes the other path.
Now, forget the other lines. We're talking about train 2. You want it to go left a bit, then
Train
southwest,
2 and Train 5.
and then turn up, and then come back on the other one. I'm asking you if you've got this double line network and it's supposed
So
to
I
be
just
a
need to
one-way.
move the signal further down.
Is it a one-way system or is it not a one-way? Oh my god, it's not a one-way.
I was gonna add another station, but this city hates my guts.
Okay, so you're trying to. Oh lord. Right, what you're doing is.
That's what that
awful,
third
and you
line
should
is for. I
stop.
was gonna add another station so I didn't have to deal with this.
Right. What you're trying to do is actually really tricky. Let me join you. I'll try and let me join you. How much money have you got? Loads. Cool. So what we want is you want to have multiple trains coming in
We're good.
and multiple trains leaving without jamming up.
Yeah.
Right. and for some reason you're using crap trains, I'm not even going to ask why, but I am going to just tell your trains to automatically upgrade. It's an option.
Ooh, that's nice.
Right, so what we'll do is we'll have the... Oh boy, we can do this. You have got yourself in a bit of a knot. Nope, stupid train, yeah. Just...
Did anyone here ever play Dawn of War Soulstorm?
Was that the, I'll say ARPG one?
No. So someone on Facebook just posted this, that they remastered the map to make it look more modern. It looks quite nice, actually. At least, as far as fan-made stuff goes, I guess.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is, hold on, let me put that one tile earlier. So everything needs to go through that one tile. And that one tile will have a one-way pass signal.
No, it doesn't. That second line back there?
So, wait. So all your trains have to come in via that direction. That train will get into the station. With me so far. I hope. And then we need to get you out. Which
But
is
that second train station was specifically for its own line. Like,
Yeah.
it was its own thing. Both of these just need to go to this one.
See, I love your beautiful grasp of the English language. It's just so clear. Both of these need to go to this one. Brilliant. So, okay, what I'm going
There's
to do...
two stations. The furthest one out was specifically for the goods. It doesn't need to do anything else.
Yeah, unfortunately, you've kind of jammed everything up. So, you can't really do what you want. Where is the train gone? Now, make the trains go. I don't think there'll be a problem. There won't be any
They're
crashes.
all in the depot.
That's fine. Yeah, it's been the depot.
Yeah, they're just hanging out.
That's right. Make them go. Don't worry about it. Just tell them to go. Don't force go, but just tell them to go normally. It'll all be good.
They're ready to go. Oh. Hello.
Okay. Beavis?
And it's waiting at the signal.
That's fine. You have a train up there somewhere. So now the train will come. It will reserve a route into Tremfingley Woods. There we go. And it will go park up at Tremfingley Woods. This train will now move up to the signal and reserve a route into Tremfingley Woods. On the way out, we can exit to the left back into the main line, or we can exit right. All I need to do now is force this stuff to be one way. So you've got a one-way incoming section of track, which doesn't really need to be two lines, but more capacity never hurts. Train 2 is lost. Well, can't have everything, can we? You are heading for... Oh, right. You've told it to head for a train depot. There we go. That'll fix it. Why is it heading to the train depot? Oh, you told it to head for the train depot on the way out. Why did
Because
you do
it's
that?
at a different order. Yeah, we can fix that.
Yeah.
Because it was before that. This is an old one.
Okay.
Completely random thought, because I mentioned nails earlier. Is there actually like a functionality nails are meant to serve, or are they just for like being able to like open tins and shit? Basically.
They're supposed to protect your fingertips
Well,
From what?
not really.
from smashing your fingers into things.
I mean,
They
my
give you
bottom,
some sort of resistance, so you can
The-
press against things, but not too hard. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
give you
the
some sort of feedback.
the bottom of my nails are... Well, bottom of my fingers don't have problems with it, with smashing into things. I'm not
Yeah.
sure-
If
not
you don't
sure-
use the tips as much as they're the indie fingers. They're very important.
Do you hit stuff with the outside of your hand? Are you bitch slapping everything?
Hitting things hard's easy. It's hitting things slowly and gently. That's
No,
do things swiftly.
I mean, not really. Human claws, quote unquote, are pretty pathetic, really, and useless. They're not very useful. Apart from, as you said, opening cans of drink.
Yeah. But I guess like nails are like the only reason that like ring pull cans make sense. Because imagine trying to open that shit when you have no nails.
You open it with a knife.
Yeah, but at that point, if everyone had to do that, then they probably would design it. In a
Some
different
people
way,
don't
right?
have the ability to do that. So they have to use a
I'm
tool.
I'm sure they don't. But I doubt it's very common. That common.
Brett, if you can't open a can
Wait till
of
you get
drink
old, mate.
without your nails.
I mean, you can. It's
Can
just
you?
probably, yeah.
Well, not very well, I don't think.
Not very well, no.
So Tam, I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. Don't need any of this now.
There's a question. What's the most unconventional way you've opened
The
something?
third row doesn't need to be there at all.
The most unconventional way I've opened something. I bought your mum 2 grams of coke and she opened her legs for me. That's not
I was
true.
waiting for any of them, Joe.
That's not true. The most unconventional way I've
There's only
opened
1 gram.
something. I opened a can of deodorant with a bonfire.
Does that really count as opening it though?
Well, it exploded everywhere, so yeah, sure.
I
Definitely
guess
wasn't
so.
closable afterwards.
Do we need this? Have you got anything ordered to this depot, by the way? Or can I just put another depot down?
Well, Adam, I guess you could say you opened doors with that thing you
Yeah,
made.
both
You
those
3D
sets of trays
printed.
go to that depot. You can shuffle it if you like.
There we go. There we go, that's
There we
much neater. Out
I
that
guess you
way,
can-
back this way.
I guess you could say you opened things with that 3D printed thing you made.
I did, yes, it's rather good, the Corona hook.
Oh, the fuck's sake.
No.
Yeah, I someone I know where I was up in Wakefield has got one. Just using a I met one of those. Got off eBay or something, I think. I'm trying to do my usual thing with my lights here, and I've completely fouled it up for some reason. I don't really understand what I've done wrong. Entry and exit sequence is the way to sort of control a branch, isn't it?
Where are we at?
We're at Gruntworth Falls.
Gruntworth Falls.
Entry signal.
See, that's why I can tell
Exit
that the
signal.
names in this game are very British, because Tad's like, Trend thing in it, and you're like, Gruntworth Falls. It's just, I'm just going to say it. Well, yes, because you've yeah, I've given up using those signals. But quite frankly, I don't get on with them as well. I would just
It's just
use
I want both platforms to be available.
then use a single pass signal. I agree that looks
Yeah,
like
it doesn't
should
work either at the moment.
Okay, on the exit you don't have a signal for quite a while, but
I thought there was one underneath called Gruntworth Falls. I took it
uh,
out.
anyway, but yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'd need 2 trains to arrive simultaneously to see it's broken.
Yes. If I'm going to stop that train that's sat there at the moment, just wait for it to unload and load up.
Alright. I mean, a lot of my most unconventional ways I've opened things have involved a Dremel.
Now I'm just scrolling through shower thoughts.
sounds
out
exciting.
there.
Can't get in. I will get in.
I had to
I'm going to
Dremel.
use my drill.
So Tad, you should click on the
Buzz.
display list of company stations. Have you clicked on that button? 7th one from the left, I think. Maybe 8th or 6th.
Hang on. Is it company information?
No. Two to the left of that one. Display list of company stations. So you are in a
Right,
ND.
there we go.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what have I done wrong?
I don't know. What colour are you? Green.
I'm green.
You're Wazzix. Let's have a look.
Stations. Got it.
Yeah. So Tad, notice that you have an awful lot of oil, passengers, valuables, goods, passengers, mail, oil, passengers, mail, valuables. You have stations overflowing with resources. Okay, let's see what those signals look right to me. You know.
Yeah. So there must be something on the exit I'm missing, I guess. I mean, it's a bit of a fuck up in the corner there.
Nah, you see, now, if you were to replace the signal right in front of it with a path signal, I think that would be fine. And get rid of the other
One-way path signal.
A one-way path signal, yeah.
So, pop,
Yeah, nope,
Oh.
right the other way.
pop, like that.
That's not a path signal. That's a entry signal. Click on the
Okay.
signal convert button.
Oh, too late. One path signal electric or
That one,
one-way
that
path
one.
signal?
I'll put it down in case it doesn't
Okay.
come back.
So
And then remove the other 2 signals.
Yeah, it doesn't work either for some reason.
Yeah, that should be fine. Now remove those. Now I'm there you go. And a 3rd train will sit there and wait until one of those other 2 stations is free.
Right, it's good.
So I'm scrolling through the shower thoughts subreddit, and some of these are quite good. Security at every level of an airport is absolutely ridiculous until you get to the baggage claim, and then it's just take a bag.
Yeah.
You never really think about it.
I once took the wrong bag.
Yeah, it's really
And I
easy
was
to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, no, because me and another woman had exactly the same bag.
Yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
what?
But it's weird that they don't have systems to make sure you get your bag. It's just take a bag, and it looks like yours. It's like what?
Yeah. Well, even that.
Well, the train's reserved the way out of the station as well.
It will reserve the way out, yeah. So until the
Oh,
next
wow.
signal.
So I really did fuck up putting those stations a bit too close to Frontworth Falls.
Yeah.
Might
Well,
have
as we all know, it always.
I wonder how much they like me, because I
yeah.
want to move those stations back a couple of notches.
I would just what you've got here is fine. It should be fine. Moving the station back will probably piss the town off.
My standing is outstanding with them.
Yeah, that disappears quite quickly when you start building massive stations. But
Oh,
yeah,
here's a
Tag,
fun one.
you need to focus on your very full, like your Fort Grunningley and Tremfingley Woods could take many. Like if you look at Tremfingley Woods, you have 1,600 passengers, 500 bags of mail, and 600 bags of valuables. You could have many more trains servicing this. Yeah, but Kohaki, you can
Okay.
just pretty much.
That's probably why they hate me so much.
No, it's because you've been blowing stuff up. Let's join my own. Who am I? I am Trains and Hose.
Here's a fun one. There's no physical evidence to say that today is Wednesday. We all just have to trust that someone that has kept count since the first one.
Yes.
Well, there is the sky. You could
What?
calculate from it what day it is.
The what?
Well, no, Sky just tells you what time of day it is. No.
That's not true at all, Shauka.
Astronomical things. You could
Yeah,
probably
right.
tell us what day it
But
is.
that I can work out what day it was yesterday, and the day before, and day before, and day before, back to the dawn of time. But if the dawn of time was a Tuesday, not a Monday, we're all out by one day. Because we're only working our way back to a known fixed point, which is, the day we first
Whatever
came up with
Wednesday
days
was
of the
made.
week.
Yeah.
Oh, so a given day, whether it's truly a Monday or a Tuesday,
Yes.
could be in doubt.
Yes, I mean, obviously we have, the fake Wednesday that comes around every 6 weeks and things like that.
Right,
But,
broken it.
There's also the fact that the isn't the year slightly longer than 365 days, which is why we
Yes.
have leap years. But even then, that's still not entirely 100%.
well,
accurate,
Brett, I will
right?
give you a pound if without Googling you can tell me how leap years work.
Fucking hell.
Well, it's a multi-part question. You should be able to get the first pound.
Oh yeah, the simple obvious answer is every 4 years we have
Right.
one day to February.
Okay, Tad, why did you fuck up the outline entirely? Why did you touch it? You now have no outline.
But what's the complex
We did-
version then? I don't.
That's not how-
What's
that's-
the outline? The one that takes you by the
Yeah, but
depot?
now you have no. But now you have. Hold on. Let me unfuck your fuck. Right, let me explain. So you have an in. You have a single in. All trains have to go through the in. Then you have a single out. Well, you have two outs. There you go. There's your out, and there's your in. So now any train that wants to come in has to come through. Let me label it for you. Sign. In. So all trains have to go via the in. On the way out, there's two outs, but you just put the out and the in on the same
Okay.
one. So a train
Oh.
can't really.
Yeah, all right, I got you now.
So Brett, there's a leap year every 4 years,
Yeah,
unless
I don't know the.
every
this part.
100 years is not a leap year. Unless
Every 400 years, there is a leap year.
is the year 2000 a leap year?
This is a really shitty if-else statement.
No, it's awful. So I was doing Millennium Bug programming, right? And it is very because there was a lot of because basically I found a lot of software that would assume in the year 2000 it was or was not a leap year. So yeah, so you get an extra day in every year, which is a multiple of 4, except years evenly divisible by 100, except years evenly divisible by 400. So the year
Is that-
2000 is a leap year, but 1900 and 2100 are not.
So what?
Because it's every 4.
Yeah.
So you're going basically the year. So for example, 2098 will be a leap year, but so that means that's where you kind of run 2000. What it is. Is that right? No, it's not right. It's bollocks, isn't it? Get myself confused. So
Yeah,
that's
so-
the point I'm trying to make. It's that close.
Yeah, every 4 years is, but
I fixed it, by the way.
every 100 years isn't, but every 400 years is.
So was that an arbitrary decision, or was that actually a calculation someone did to get the exact amount of time we need to take away or add to make it a 365?
That's the thing.
Every 4. It's basically every 4 years. It is every 4 years.
Well, yeah, but
It's a
the reason-
compromise
No,
of getting
no.
it accurate versus
Yeah.
keeping it trackable.
I mean, you can't describe to the computer do it every 4 years. You have to go this year, but not that year. Oh, and this year, but not that year, and not that year. You know, so especially in computing terms, you have to go exception, exception, exception. In terms of human speech, you would say every 4 years because that's correct.
Well, yes,
It is
but
every 4 years.
Yeah, but the reason the leap year exists partially is because a year isn't actually 365 days long. It's
No.
slightly
365 and a quarter.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
I don't know the amount,
It's
but it's-
365.2422. It's not quite a quarter. It's nearly, but not quite. And that's,
Yeah,
why,
I guess.
and that's why we
guess-
need the if-then-else horror.
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was just because if you
It's
hit it
not
every
accurate
4
enough.
years, people get confused. For example,
No. If you did it
I don't
every
know the
4
last one.
years, after 100 years, you'd be out by half a day. Or whatever it would. But it
right,
wouldn't.
but who's
it-
counting?
Um,
Oh my
because-
god, that half a day, you know.
Well, no, because eventually you'll end up with 2 Mondays in a row. Or
And
30 days in
eventually-
December or some other
Yeah.
horror. We also get
And-
leap seconds as well to keep those in sync.
Oh god. And eventually you reach a point where, because the calculation's off, you'd then have it be like 3 p.m. on a Monday, and it would be like midnight.
Ooh.
No, leap seconds are separate from leap years.
Yeah, basically, my point is we're just keeping it all in sync.
Yeah.
So I was
I
curious.
do
don't-
wonder that at some point, I think the orbits are not stable, or like the two-body approximations don't hold. So at very long time scales, the leap years are like not very predictable.
Is the length of years changing? I mean, it won't be by much.
It'd be a very small amount, I'd imagine.
Well, yes, obviously.
Yeah.
Are years getting longer or shorter?
Is the world slowing down?
Days are getting longer. Obviously, the world's not spinning quite as fast, but the year is getting shorter.
But does one offset the other?
No.
But at the very least, there would be energy loss to gravitational wave generation. But that's way long term,
Yeah.
like after the sun has blown up.
Yes, the moon goes round the Earth slower than we go around, so therefore the moon is slowing us down very, very, very gradually. And friction of the tides and blah, 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 blah. I'm just trying to find anything about how much. I mean, yeah, maybe the year of a length of year is, you know, a millionth of a second longer. Brilliant. A length of year is defined by the time it takes to orbit the sun. What a non-answer that is.
I was trying to find out when the first like recorded Monday or weekday or whatever it is. It's
Well,
quite.
it wouldn't be Monday, would it? You have to go back to,
I went-
well, from my point of view, further back in time.
Yeah, it'll be pre-Roman stuff.
You have to go with the Roman school days, which
From what I
would
can
have been...
find online, it says Babylonians, the first recorded weekdays.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, the
Right.
Bible doesn't give them days' names.
Well, no, because there was...
Because well, if it
Some
does,
of
it's
them-
translated, obviously. so-
Some of them would predate the Bible and some of them would post-date it. When did we change? When did we get the extra days, Julius Caesar's day and everything? No, that's
No idea.
months. That's month I'm thinking of.
No, because you're thinking of the Roman calendar
Yeah.
system, and that wasn't what the Jews would have been using.
Yeah, but Julius
So,
Caesar...
I mean, for example, if
changed
you
the
posed
months.
your system onto my calendar, I'd ignore it.
My
I'll just keep
system-
going my calendar. You can't sort of fuck my head that much, you know.
I think it's the year 6000, according to some timekeeping.
The year 6000?
No, it's
So in 4,000
5,700 something.
4,000 years in the future, we'll invent Monday.
No, but
Well,
like the
I
common
don't-
era is not the
point is-
only
The point we are in
calibration
agreement
point for timekeeping.
with. The point we are in agreement with is there are 7 days in a week.
Have there always been 7 days in a week?
Yes, as instituted by God. Thank you very much. 6-day work,
Well, yeah, but
7-day day
but
off.
we could just say there are 25 days in a. I can't remember. Another number divided by 365. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I thought that there was a time where every day was a work day.
Because of course there are other divisors on 365, but apparently we chose 7.
How do you know a year's 365? Always been 365 days.
Well, it
I mean,
hasn't
bear in mind the accuracy of that has been established a couple hundred years, maybe.
Well, how do I know that a year has always been 365 days?
Yeah,
It hasn't.
exactly.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I was looking up, is how much are years slowing down by. Not an appreciable amount is the answer. Not in any time frame that we're going to exist over.
You talk to
Maybe
yourself.
gaining a couple of days over a millennia.
I'm playing living forever.
We're talking 100 days over 500 million years. It's just glacial time
Insignificant, and
Yeah.
why are you worrying about it? Yeah.
Oh no, just because eventually we'll fall into the sun. By that, because we're losing speed eventually. Not us personally. I'll probably be dead for 6 or 7 weeks by then.
I think the sun is coming over before we are going to the sun.
Yeah, the sun will start expanding in its life cycle before that'll happen, right?
We hope.
We hope. I mean, I hope. I like to think
The
about
calculation
that
could be
point.
completely wrong. It's going to explode in 5 minutes. But shit!
So apparently the divisor 7 was picked because the Babylonians followed the sun, the moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn.
They worship lots of funny things. Yes.
So because of the number of planets, we have 7 days.
Well, the number of planets that we could see back whenever that was. Close.
I think it's kind of arbitrary to call it funny because back then that was probably the norm. So I don't know. At any given time,
Not
worship
for
any given
absolutely
time.
everybody.
I mean, not for everybody, but you can say that about any religion. Is that they worship whatever their culture worships at the time,
Oh, Tad.
depending on where they're living, I guess.
Yeah. What is this?
Oh, right, never mind, it's just being slow.
Especially back then when you could be called a heretic for not worshipping the next religion.
It was not the name calling that was the problem. The burning flames were a bigger inconvenience.
Interesting. So the Egyptians had 10 weekdays, Romans had 8 weekdays, Babylonians had 7 weekdays. That doesn't. But how could you have 10 weeks? That doesn't divide into 365.
Or maybe they,
So the divide 360.
Not everybody used 60-based numbers.
What was the best
Maybe.
guess?
And there were special days.
Oh, I suppose so. You had weeks, and then you had you just jam an extra day in every so often.
Well, I was told the Jewish system they jammed in whole flipping months in one point.
Well, they did. Yeah, that's why we
Like
have.
19 months at a time or something.
That's
like
why we
that.
have July, because July is Julius Caesar's month, and they just rejiggled around all them. Yeah, the months are a complete clusterfuck.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Emperor Constantine in AD 321 it's decreed that 7-day week is the official Roman week, and I think since then we've all used that.
I think that December stands for the 10.
Yes.
10th month.
Yeah, December 10th, November 9th,
9th.
October 8th,
8th.
September 7th.
7th.
Yeah. Then it all goes. then
Emperor August. Emperor Augustine. Emperor Julius.
yeah, but we don't have a Hextember, sadly.
No.
what a shame.
Yeah, so essentially what happened is the Romans had 8 days, conquered bits influenced by Alexander the Great, and couldn't be bothered to argue with the locals that they wanted the 8-day week, and just eventually succumbed to the 7-day week that they had been using.
I think it was partly a tactical decision to integrate the conquered population.
Of course it was.
I mean, in a way, like adopting some cultures of places you conquer, might help in that sense.
Let's be honest,
Yes.
just on paperwork, just for sheer paperwork alone, that would have been a more easy system. Going, no, we don't have that calendar system. Just going, right, we'll use your one. The Romans conquered a lot of territory owned by Alexander the Great, and it's probably just turned more effort, to be quite frank.
We know we have been have some hard times, but let's make a compromise. We get all the money and grain, and you get to keep your days.
Whee!
Sounds like a fair exchange.
Go into the depot. You're too small. Alright, long good. How are you doing?
So scrolling through a few more of the shower thought ideas, some of them are quite cute. if Wookiees live a 400-year lifespan, then Han Solo is basically Chewbacca's third dog.
Have you not seen all of these a lot? Do I just spend too much time on the internet?
No, I'm
Yes.
just scrolling through some articles. That
So
highlight some-
here's a question. So does Chewbacca have a normal human penis or like a red one, like a dog?
Oh my god.
George Lucas won't respond to my tweets on this subject.
I wonder
Why
why.
it would have that kind of?
Because
Why
it's
would it
hairy.
be likened to a dog?
Because it's vaguely like a dog on legs. On
Is
two
there
legs.
an anatomical reason to have such correlation?
It makes for a funnier joke.
Nah, I guess that's always.
So how do we declare a winner in this game, out of interest?
In 2030, in 8 years, in fact, I think it is. Oh, 2050, 2050. Whoever has the
2050,
highest
okay.
company rating. Yeah, there has been calls for decimal time that I've seen as well. So there's a much better system. That's just, it doesn't have ridiculous length, days and months and bloody hacks every so often. But it's not been widely adopted because, of course, everyone is kind of used to the ridiculous thing we've got. It's like when we moved from decimalization from imperial. That was a nightmare.
Oh, this is a good one. Water is a beverage whose flavour is its temperature.
Well, no. Water always
I mean,
tastes-
it's the only thing you have to go by, right? Like, warm water tends to taste not good.
Why do you drink warm water,
Well,
Rat?
Why,
To make yourself
why
vomit.
don't you?
That's salt water, not warm.
No, can be used as a metic, just warm.
Really?
I was told. Could be wrong.
Well, prove
I've
it.
never drunk warm water. I've always
Drink-
spat it out because,
drink
funny
some
enough,
warm
it
wa-
tastes bad.
Yeah, no, it's salt water. It's warm salt water, definitely an emetic. Warm water in a meg, I've never heard that.
I mean, at the elderly, I drink hot water. Just plain hot water.
I just find it interesting that, like, it's odd to drink warm water. Because you do it with, like, tea and stuff, but that's only if you put something else in it. But if for some reason it's not fine to drink it as just warm water.
Just
Yeah,
plain.
so the reason that warm water tastes a bit icky is because you have simulated peristaltic movement while there is little new food in the stomach.
Interesting.
And you can make yourself throw up with warm water and sugar and water. I can't find anything about not making yourself throw up without the salt. It's the salt that does it. If you've ever got water inside you when you are swimming. I don't think I've ever drunk warm water. I don't think I have. Well, Henry, there you go. Henry drinks warm water. Why would you do that? We've invented tea bags.
At least in some countries.
I think all, well, apart from Russia, but they've got vodka. Can you drink
Why
warm
would
vodka?
drink tea when you got vodka?
You can have warm vodka, yes.
Well, obviously you can have warm anything apart from ice.
It's actually quite nice, apparently.
Well, yeah, warm Ribena is also excellent. They used to give us that at school when it snowed for reasons I've never really worked out.
Oh, apparently you can have hot ice.
That's not hydrogen.
No,
Because
the reason for this, you are high pressure.
yes, at the triple point, yes. Not in like normal
No,
circumstances.
not in a glass, no. but yes, you can have hot ice, technically.
There are actually multiple types of ice.
That's true.
I know you can have water below zero that's not ice, but I don't think you really have ice above zero that's not ice. Outside of a hyperbaric chamber.
If your identical quick twin got plastic surgery, it would be hard to not feel a little insulted. Oh dear.
I like that. That's funny.
When you're sick, the advice you get is literally do drugs and stay out of school. Oh dear. It kind of makes sense that the target audience of fidget spinners lost interest in them so quickly.
Excuse me, I have so many fidget spinners, and I've got one just there. So,
I have a couple.
in fact, I've got ball bearing races right here.
Technically, almost every mirror you buy at a store is in used condition. That's terrible.
you know
Can you put a platform down on lumpy ground?
No, not really. Sort of depends. Usually not.
Flat land required.
A successful marriage ends with watching the other person die.
And that's not true. A successful marriage is where you both die in a fiery blaze of glory.
Oh dear.
But yeah, as I said, 50% of marriages end in divorce, the other 50% end in death.
The person who invented audio recording probably thought it didn't work right when their voice sounded different in the recording.
What do you mean? What do you mean? The person, and probably we have the first recording ever made. It exists.
Amazing.
It's on a wax record. Do you know why vampires can't see themselves in mirrors traditionally?
Bad eyesight?
That's a novel answer, thank you. Too much masturbation.
Oh god.
No. No, that means that's not what happens. You go blind, not you can't see yourself. Any guesses, Brad?
No.
Because traditionally mirrors were made with silver, like the backing paper was silver, so that is why, because silver was a holy metal, and you didn't get to see reflections back.
Whereas if you use something cheap and nasty, you get a holy metal, and it's because it's corroded.
Well, and if you just use that nasty, you just I mean, I think these days it's a aluminium thing rather than silver.
It's whatever's cheapest. Yeah, it's crazy.
The objective of golf is to play the least amount of golf.
Yes.
That is also the best amount
true.
of golf.
Yes. Good way of running a good walk.
Your belly button is just your old mouth.
We were having a good time until you said that, Brad.
Yeah.
That was uncalled for.
But true.
It's always easy to fall asleep on a sofa unless you're actually asleep on a sofa.
I have an extremely comfortable sofa, so I'm not sure I agree.
Understandable. See if I can find any others. What else we got? There should be a reality TV show where flat Earth find the edge of the world.
So again.
There should be a reality TV show where flat earthers find the edge of the world.
Yes, we're gonna go find it. It's over in Thailand somewhere.
Anxiety is like when video game combat music is playing, you can't find any enemies. Oh dear.
Right. Do my first maglev.
Ooh.
Alright. I have
Is that unlocked
idea
now?
what I did.
Yeah. Maglev
Is that faster
horrible.
than the other ones?
Oh yes, maglev is super fast. The problem is
Does that mean more money though?
it makes more money, yeah. Absolutely.
Because it's getting the goods more
It's
quickly to the
it's
place you
getting
want.
quicker, yeah.
Your future self is talking shit about you.
That's not true. My future self thinks I'm awesome.
Amazing.
This is the thing, Henry. If flat Earth is true, sure, okay. As I said, the Earth does look kind of flat. I can understand people saying the Earth is flat. Right, I look out, it does look flat, sure. And there's an ice wall all the way around the edge. Right, okay, well, I'll give you that one. Why not, right? And NASA are trying to stop us getting there. Like, okay, getting a little bit tenuous, but all right. And all the governments in the world are in on this. Like, okay, what? China and North Korea are
Well known for not collaborating.
are in on the conspiracy to keep normal people, right? And there's no photographs because
No, they're all
and-
fakes.
no, there are no photos of the ice wall around the edge of the.
Oh yeah. They've got software in the phones to block that. Surely.
And
Take that and take it out.
Well, no,
Well,
because
in
you.
fact-
I mean, I can make a camera. Pinhole cameras are trivial to make, so I could go and take photos of anything. There is no way you could stop me. Pinhole cameras have been around for hundreds of years, so.
Yeah.
Well, and then you've got, and so no flat earther ever has got a helicopter and flown there. Because this is, as I said, Max, you said you think that warm water is an emetic, and I'm like, it's not. There's an easy proof for this. Go and drink some water. And if you firmly believe that the flat Earth, if you firmly believe that, we could trivially prove it right or wrong. Let's not. Let's assume you're wrong and not actually try and find out you're right, because I really don't want to puke. But pretty 99.9% sure it's warm water and salt. But if you're a flat earther and you
That was the James Bond thing, wasn't it? Yeah.
And you
I'm not a flat earther. No, I'm
I
not.
know. But if you're a flat earther and you
No
firmly
fucking way.
believe this,
The Bible
if-
tells you it's round, so I
if-
don't know how people manage to get that wrong.
Because they're idiots. If one feels that the Earth is flat, and you really absolutely feel this, it is trivial to prove.
To disprove it. Yeah.
To disprove. Well, no,
Yeah.
it's very hard to disprove, but it can be proven.
What's very hard to disprove?
It's very hard to disprove the Earth isn't flat. You know, you need quite scientific-y stuff. I mean,
Right.
it's quite easy.
Because it's very easy to prove it's circular.
Yeah, but it's very easy to prove that there's an ice wall at the end of it. Go there. Hire a helicopter and go there. It's-
Oh, well, then they got this government bollocks, haven't they? Oh, the government's blocking it and that.
I know
Where'd they get this
people
stuff
who will
from?
hire you a helicopter and you can do what the fuck you like with it as long as you file a flight plan. And if you're rich enough, you can pretty much do whatever the hell you like. This is the thing. If you believe in flat Earth, it's trivial to prove there is a flat Earth if there is one. And if there isn't a flat Earth, obviously it's impossible. And no one's proved it, so therefore, probably not.
Not looking good. Yeah.
As I can prove the
The
Earth
same
is round
kind of
just
logic
with a
would
laser.
apply
So-
that because it would be trivially easy to disprove Santa, therefore Santa exists.
It's impossible to disprove Santa. It's trivial to prove he exists. It's impossible to prove he doesn't exist. How would you prove that Santa doesn't exist? Anywhere, in any possible dimension or period of time. You can't. You can only prove he does exist. It's usually impossible to prove a negative. You can only prove a positive. Like, how do you prove Santa doesn't exist? You can prove that Santa doesn't bring the presents for your children, but he might exist but not be bringing them for you. How do you prove that all presents aren't from Santa?
I guess there's the issue of moving goalposts. The version of Santa where he brings everybody's presents would be falsified by a particular family not having such visits.
Yeah, so we definitely know that Santa does not bring all the presents, but can you prove he doesn't bring any presents? We can't, that's my point.
I guess not.
I mean, obviously, I'm fairly sure he doesn't, but you know,
Brings yours though, right?
He
brings yours though, right?
He stopped just after I moved out of my home. I don't know what was about. I moved out from Mum's house. Santa stopped bringing me presents. But correlation is not equal causation.
Oh no, I killed people.
Oh, Tad, did you quickly clone both those
I
trains?
can't figure out these signals.
Clone. Well, you shouldn't have touched them. Clone both the trains quickly before they disappear. You have about a year.
Hurry up!
I can't find them. Where are they at? There they is. How do I clone them?
From a depot.
That's some serious growth factor.
Yeah, man, watch out.
Yeah, as Henry says, you cannot prove there is no chocolate teapot orbiting the far side of the sun.
Apart from all the chocolate dripping off the back of it.
Well, no, you can't prove that. You can't prove that it isn't there. You can prove it is, but well, you can't. You could prove it is, but you haven't. Probably a safer way of saying it. But you can't prove. No, quite hard. But what happens if the teapot's 100 million miles outside of the sun? That's what I mean. You can't prove a negative.
You can only disprove a positive.
You can only
Is that what
prove you can prove a positive. I mean, you can flip it on its head sometimes. But
Just
like,
because you could prove it's behind something was if it was in exact opposite behind us all the time, because you'd be able to, send it. Well,
Well, no,
they sent two probes, haven't they? So to measure, look at the sun and measure it, so they could be like, well, there's, those probes would see it.
But I mean, with Santa, I can prove that. Yeah, I mean, you got the shitting goalpost thing. I said you can prove that Santa didn't bring your presents, but you can't prove he didn't bring everyone's presents.
Signals.
Okay, Tad, don't click on the button. Did you click on the button? Is that what happened?
I guess you could scratch the goalpost
No.
by saying like
I got
you
rid
can't.
of the signals that I
You
couldn't
got
get to
rid
work
of the
right.
signals. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with those signals.
Yeah.
Like, you wanted the train to go, and you were being
They weren't
impatient. You were waiting for the signals to go, and you were being impatient.
No.
They were working fine.
Somebody think of the signals.
So what happened is you buggered about. I'll put them back. There was nothing wrong with these signals. You had a little airlock here. The issue was you haven't got the airlocks further up the line. That's what happened.
Adam, the best thing about the Santa thing to me is that you could shift the goalpost even more by saying to someone that like tries to deny it that, well, maybe he deemed you as a naughty one, so you didn't get it.
Prove a negative.
Yeah, the issue with gladiators could also be that people are not given an education to understand the science, and they might be anxious that a lot of things are taken on faith. Like science should be understood and not taken on authorities' word.
I'm really confused about you used the word water then. I'm really confused. What? Did I mishear?
Water?
I think you said...
I meant this author, like the big man in charge
Author.
says something, and therefore you should believe
He's
something.
saying you have to.
Gotcha.
Science is being to be trusted on authority rather than
yes.
proven.
Call to authority is an atrocious thing. Though, to be fair, I have used it. Going, do you not know who I am? Do you know how many games I've written? Shut up.
I don't know what you're talking about, Adam. Trump said we should drink bleach.
Yeah. Have you not had your daily ration already?
You can prove something not to exist in the conditions of the known laws of physics. Well, that doesn't apply to Santa. You could say it is impossible for a Santa to deliver all the presents. Unless, of course, he has supernatural powers or is a time traveler from the future, or there are millions of Santas. All of these could be ways to explain Santa. I mean, we are getting into the realms of this is why the Earth is flat. And that's what they do. As I said, I explained what the flat Earth explanation is for the southern hemisphere and why the stars look different. And it's stretching credibility to... You have vaguely retconned something that kind of fits the facts, as long as you don't know anything about what the southern hemisphere actually looks like. Or Australia isn't real, it's all done by actors. But I like
the New Zealand one.
Those are the ones where people absolutely do not believe that under any circumstances. They're saying it to wind people up.
Yeah, like there's a conspiracy that Finland doesn't exist.
Well, I guess I haven't been to Finland, but I mean, I have travelled quite a lot. I have been to Australia, and it's like, Australia doesn't exist. I'd be like,
No, Adam, here's a good one. There's a Reddit, which is maps without New Zealand.
what? Oh, is that just...
It's just there are maps that don't have New Zealand on
yeah,
them.
because it's just like, oh, skip that. Yes. I
But they're like world maps. So
they're cheap maps is what they are, I think.
Well, no, because they have every other country in the world on them.
Yeah, but is New Zealand real?
It's so funny.
I don't know what Patchy is, but his map doesn't have one. Yeah, but Kohaka, I'm not saying Santa delivers all the presents. It is trivial to prove that as a falsehood, obviously. Can you prove Santa doesn't exist? No. You can prove Santa does exist. If Santa did exist, it would be possible to prove that he was real. You can't prove that he doesn't exist.
One of the top-rated posters of all time from that subreddit is from the New Zealand government website with a map that doesn't have New Zealand.
Oh no, that's amazing.
Oh, that's we're sorry, something's missing.
Surely that's on purpose. We're sorry, something. Surely.
I don't know.
They are the sort of people that would enjoy a good wind up like that.
gov.nz/boobs. Nah, see, I'm afraid that's utter bollocks.
That's still a hilarious picture, though.
Yeah. Browse/boobs. Yeah. So brilliant. So this is the thing. I have an inquiring mind, and I like to
Get in trouble.
No, I like if someone says something to me and instead of going, "Oh right, cool," I like to go, I'm just going to check that because I mentioned this before. Someone mentioned Boris Johnson's book, and I was like, all right. Now this person is not someone who
You know personally.
No, someone I know. It is
You
someone
like.
I know personally. No, someone I like, but they aren't someone who likes Boris Johnson. And I read this thing on their thing, and I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. Like,
It's quite well translated in chat.
but basically,
I
they
assume.
described this book by Boris Johnson. I was like, look, this is obviously not true. You're obviously just Facebook sharing shit you heard. It's obviously not true. Boris Johnson, so the post goes, it's hilarious. He wrote a book called 72 Virgins, and in it there is a blonde, strapping Westminster politician who rides his bike, and he shuts down a terrorist plot by the Islamo-fascists who are trying to target the US president. And he's the hero of it.
Is this a Tom Clancy book?
No, and it's so obviously just bollocks. And I read this and I'm like, dude, this is just, what are you? Don't post shit on Facebook that's not real. And I had a look and it's completely real. It absolutely exists. Boris Johnson wrote a book about himself where he stops the Islamo-fascists, saves the US president, and has sex with a bunch of women. Not joking. It's insane. So this is the leader of our country, right? He calls people pickaninnies. He calls hijab wearers bank robbers. He calls people Islamic heads cases, Islamic nut cases. Arabs have hook noses and slanty eyes. Mixed race Britain is called coffee colours. He mentions pikeys and half castes. This is the guy in charge of our country, describing women, tits out, lustrous eyes, long legs, a mega-titted 6-footer, an unambiguously exuberant bosom, a lingerie model, only cleverer, and if anything, with bigger breasts.
And don't forget Japplication and Hobnobs.
And this guy was voted. Actually, he wasn't voted in charge at all, was he?
No. We don't vote people in this country.
No, we voted.
Well,
We voted
for the party.
We voted
Which
Theresa
party?
May in, but she then swapped, and I've lost track.
Yeah, she then lost the plot.
So Adam, I was looking at the Reddit post for that one that you just checked. Apparently, it is actually an asset in their website files that they swapped in for an April Fool's Day gag a few years ago.
Ah, beautiful. That's beautiful.
So for one day, it was on the site, which is great.
Wait, I was like, oh my god, this is a lot of passengers, but this is the thing. So Tad, your signals are fine. I fixed everything. There's no problem.
Yes.
Do you concur?
I appreciate that.
So
I wish
what
I
you-
understood it, but
Well, what
thank
you did. So, can you see the loop just slightly northwest of Slamming Head Loop?
Yes.
Yeah. So what was happening? There was nothing wrong with it.
Yes.
You were being impatient. So your north route, if you were to
They
follow
were
the
sitting
old.
there for weeks.
Yes, but it was fine. That was your fault. The solution
They're
is not
stuck
delete.
there now. What are they doing?
What? Who's stuck where? What train?
Fort Grunnely.
What train?
Both trains are at
What
the station.
number?
Sitting there doing
Train 9. Let me see.
There's a fun one. Here's a picture of Earth with a specific angle where you can almost only see water.
Let's see why. This might be my fault. So that means there's another train on this line somewhere. Yeah, because there's no signals. You've got this whole system with no signals. So as a rule, you want two-way bits of track. So this train. So let me see. Train 8. Sorry, is waiting for train 5 because you have not airlocked the different networks in any way, shape, or form.
How do I do that?
Well,
I don't understand these signals. This is why I didn't fuck
Okay.
with this in
See
Factorio
where I put the
either.
word here.
Yes.
Right. So that train 9 is waiting because I can drive with my finger. I can connect these two railway lines up to the word here. You have no signals anywhere. So if you put a one-way signal,
Okay.
so it's just to the left of the word here, you can put a one-way signal, and there.
Okay.
There you go. So that's now airlocked. That so these trains can now.
Oh.
Actually, they might not be. They might be something else. But yeah, you've got these. I don't tend to ever have two-way bits of track if I can possibly avoid it. We are still.
I do.
Dirt though. Yeah, well,
I love
two-way.
two bits of track.
But
Right.
when you can avoid it. That's
Oh
when-
yeah, when you're fucking skint though.
Well, if this
Ah.
town didn't hate my guts so bad, this wouldn't be so bad.
I'm trying to work out why this train is stopped. Oh, that might have been a very bad idea.
Oh, you hit the forbidden button?
No, I blew up something. Okay, yeah. So we can see this next train coming. That's right. That's fine. So this next train coming getting
It's
ready
stuck at the one-way light.
I'm getting ready to pause. Those trains are going to collide if the timing's out. But the timing is not out. So yeah, essentially you've got this huge piece of track with no lights on it. So trains can only reserve up to the next light. See, what I would probably do is I'd probably have a whole bunch more one-way track for down here. So trains come up on one line and down on another.
Yeah.
Like that. Did I get that the right way around? No, I didn't. And where possible, one-way systems good, two-way systems bad.
Yes. I understand that.
Yeah. But you can end up with it locked like that. Let's see how this is all moving then.
Here's a fun one. There's a map of the world focused on New Zealand.
Yeah,
That's really weird.
the Mercator view is awful. The Mercator view is obviously done by a bloke who was British and wanted England to look much more important on the map than it was. Like England is teeny tiny. There's great other projections. The best one is to put it on a sphere.
There's a version where like Asian countries are centered, and it looks really odd when you look at it compared to how we know of it.
Russia and the US are only 17 miles apart. The closest point is it the Bering Strait? I want to say.
Yeah.
Bering Strait. Yeah. I assume they are slowly getting closer each year.
Flat Earthers be like, what the fuck? I thought the world ended at just past America.
But yeah, it's like, you know, when the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor, did the Flat Earthers think they went that way? Because that's a long way that way. That's a very long way.
Did they destroy the ice wall?
Well, maybe the Japanese were in charge of the ice wall.
No, they flew
That's
over
that's the secret. They've got the bloody the ice wall. The bastards.
See you soon, more bets.
Have you got evidence for it?
But yeah, so if you do actually travel the world for a bit, you'll realise Flat Earth just doesn't make any sense. It's so obviously different as you travel around the world. Like, you know, I've been to Bali and it's not hot. It's like the outdoors is like an oven. It just bakes your skin off. You know, it's so obviously something has radically changed, and it's not. You've moved a little bit further along the disc. The Flat Earther argument is that we have the sun has a focused light through a lens, and it's like now you're arguing what aliens are up there and trying to fool us into thinking we're on an Earth. We're on a that aliens are trying to fool us. We're on a sphere. Like, is that your argument? Because why and how and what?
And how batshit do they sound?
Well, it's just. I mean, sure. I can't prove that aliens aren't trying to convince us that we're on a sphere, but I'd like to see your evidence where you came up with that, or any justification whatsoever other than the governments of the world don't want you to go to the edge of the disc.
Danger the death sphere.
But yeah,
new bank.
But what's below us, if that's the case? What's under it? Is it turtles all the way down? I'm just going to tie this up with a tab. There we go. Yeah, I think it's 17 miles to Bearings. I think it's the Bering Strait. Bering Strait. Narrowest point is 51 miles. Russia, US closest point is the Bering Strait. 2.4 miles at closest. Oh, fuck off. Caitlin Dempsey, whoever they are, I fucking hate you. Title: These two countries are separated by 2.4 miles. Shut up and put it in the fucking subject. Yeah, 2.1 miles, but there are the Diomedes Islands in the middle.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's effectively like 13 hours apart, but literally a couple of miles away.
21 hours apart.
21 hours. Bloody hell, that's the worst case, is it?
Well, yeah, that's because obviously that's the date line.
Yeah, but it's not a static number, is it?
I was going to ask if you could swim that, but I imagine that area is probably quite...
It's quite cold, yes. There's also nothing from a lot. Oh wow! So the international date line cuts the Diomedes Islands in half. And one of them is called Tomorrow Island. The other one's called Yesterday Isle. Tomorrow Island is 21 hours ahead of Yesterday Isle.
But that's not all the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
Can't be.
Why not?
Daylight savings?
I
They
don't.
not have
think
daylight savings?
I don't think they have daylight savings in the parts of the Earth where the sun never gets above the horizon.
And to be fair, the British Channel's 68 miles, and people have swam that.
British Channel's 21 miles.
22.
I just Googled it. Maybe Google's wrong. Hold on.
Kilometers,
British.
maybe. I mean,
No. Tom's a bit of 30.
yeah, I think it's 21, 22 miles.
Yeah, 21. Okay. Well,
I
that's
am-
something different.
I am curious why the two islands are not 23 days, 3 hours apart, but they are. I mean, don't forget, time zones are not. They're set. I mean, there's some time zones that go around cities and stuff. They are.
Yeah, they're not straight lines.
Yeah, but
I
I'm
think some
assuming.
of the islands decided to be on the other side of the date line for tactical reasons and being able to celebrate New Year's first or something
yeah.
like that.
I'm just assuming that because we are talking about the westerly. Oh god, it might be easterly, depending. I can't. But westerly point of Russia and the easterly point. No, easterly point of Russia and westerly point of the US. No one lives for thousands of miles. The only thing out there are probably missile bases. So I don't think the time zones are very important. I assume they just didn't bother. There's no plus 11 or minus 11 time zone.
How many time zones do you think there are in China?
4.
Nope.
2.
Nope.
5.
-1. No.
Closer.
Oh.
Is it 1?
Oh, they have
It
decided
is
on
one.
the
It
Chinese
is one.
time.
Strictly speaking, though, Adam, you were correct. There are about 4 or 5 actually.
Yeah.
If you look at the date lines going across it, but because it's
China.
because it's China, yeah, because it's People's Republic, and the people at the top go, "This is what's going to happen," and nobody questions it because that would be dishonouring the people at the top. There's one time zone for China, so if people get up at 6 o'clock across the China time zone, they're just going, "Yeah, I'm going to get up at 4 because it's daylight."
Well, no, they're still getting up at 6. It's just dark.
Yeah.
And
Well,
some
they're
people-
getting up in different times of the day in
Well,
different parts of China.
I would
I would
suspect.
have thought so, yeah.
I'd suspect all that actually means is some people go to work at 7 in the
In the
morning,
dark.
and some people go to work at 10 in the morning. That's
Completely
the
round
easiest
thought.
solution.
Completely round thought relating to like people of power. Do you guys think people will still care about the royal family when? Or like,
When what?
well, but most people when they think royal family, they think Queen because she's been there for fucking 80
Yeah.
years, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
How many years? I don't know.
a lot.
How-
I think Sweden is a constitutional kingdom. So is British one, or are you like properly a monarchy?
So the Queen can, in theory, override stuff, but never does, and it would be a bit weird if she did. But she in theory turns up to various parliamentary things and says, "Yes, this is all fine," but in practice, if she went, "No, it's not," they'd be like, "Yeah,
She
shut
says
up."
it just like that too, doesn't
That's
she?
her voice. That's how the Queen sounds.
Don't you have a
yeah,
thing like
exactly
called
like
royal assent? When the parliament makes some decision, it doesn't become official until the monarch like says that we shall do.
Yes, but if the Queen went, "No, we're not," they'd be go, "Look, we are all right, Liz. No, we're not arguing." So, in theory, yes. In practice, if she actually tried to exercise that power, it would probably disappear very, very quickly. But yeah, the royal family makes a lot of money. It's quite unlikely we're ever going to get rid of it. It is massively profitable in so many ways, so we're probably sticking with it.
Well, the gentleman rules of governing in the Americas didn't hold up that well. So could get exciting.
Well, yeah. I mean, the Queen does have the royal guard, but she doesn't have that many of them.
So you would think that people would actually swarm the royals.
What, like attack the royal family? Well, no, we're not France. Ugh.
Or America.
I don't think America has a royal family.
I know, but they attacked the capital, so.
Right, but they didn't behead
There's a
their
lot of people
ruler.
that pretend they are.
I've got super fast word. Jockey,
Yeah, the American president from like a social perspective, might as well be a temporary queen or king, right? Like the way people like.
Well, no. I mean, the point is that our kings and queens contain their power through bloodlines rather than through being elected. We can't elect anyone other than Philip or not Philip, sorry, Charles or whichever the other one, the ginger one, the not ginger one. Whereas you can have anyone as the next president. That's kind of the point, is that anyone can be president. So it's the exact opposite of a monarchy, in fact.
Mono means one.
Wait, does it?
Mono.
Well, yeah, but it's not a monarchy. I
Mono
don't
means
know.
one. It's singular.
Is that? Yeah.
Etymology mode activate.
Yes! Wow, yes. Middle English from the Old French monarchie, via late Latin from the Great Monarchia, the rule of one. Go Max.
It's there. It's right there in the word. Sorry to be
Well,
you know.
yeah, but not all words that begin with mon mean one. Like,
Monorail, monocycle.
Monoxide.
no, okay, you can't just name ones that are. Shut up. Let me think.
I mean, they would also include the full term mono. It's not just mon.
What?
Well, monarchy doesn't have the O at the end, right? It's monarchy.
Yeah. But, like, monster doesn't mean one stir.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
One monster.
Does it not?
No.
Doesn't mean one monster.
We shall check.
Well, that's the English, isn't it? So if I said there's a monster on my bed, it would mean one monster. But you're right. You'd have to go. There are monsters on the bed, and then it's no longer one.
Yeah,
What's
imagine
that?
that. You say monsters, it means there's many one monster.
What's that monster with one eye?
Mike Wazowski.
No.
Cyclops.
And what do you call one of those with two eyes? A bicyclops?
Biclops.
that one.
Normal. He's the ugly one.
Well, you say normal, Max. What is the average number of eyes that people have?
2, I would have thought.
Slightly less than 2.
Slightly less.
I have more than the average number of eyes.
Statistically speaking,
It's statistically
where are you
speaking.
getting statistics from?
Well, okay, let's assume there are 100 people in the world and they all have 2 eyes, and I poke one of their eyes out. The average number of eyes in the world is slightly less than 2. I like-
Monster derives from monio, which is
Damn it.
not mono.
Well, I guess the real
Born.
question there is: do you think there's more people with 3 eyes than 1 eye?
Yeah. Well, in the same way, the average number of oh god, what was that? Let's do with the average number of people inside someone is what was it? There's an because some women are pregnant. Bugger, I can't remember what it is now. I have greater than the average number of penises. No, because people have one. Well, yes, I guess if you include women in that one. But yeah, so yes, Henry, yes, I know, mean, modal, and
Mode.
modal and mode. That's it. No, mean, modal, and median, mean, modal, and median. Yes.
And moodlululul.
But yeah, I also have more than the average number of legs, but less than the average number of appendices.
One of my cousins actually has 1 eye. She was born with, well, she wasn't. She was born with like a.
No penis.
Yeah, yes, clearly. Well, I mean, maybe not, I guess, but no, she was born with like some like disease that affected one of her eyes, so she lost it, and now she has like a fake one.
A friend of mine has a fake eye, and
Yeah.
I mentioned before, it can take photos when she blinks. They're not great photos, and she has to charge it via USB. And I'm like, that's amazing.
It's still very cool.
It's also extremely real. There's no way you could tell. It doesn't.
Yeah,
Her
right.
muscles still grip it.
Yeah, the only way you can the only time you can tell with those kinds of things is when one eye is leaning the other direction,
Or it comes out.
or it comes out.
But don't sneeze too hard.
Oh dear.
Well, I guess that's a question. What's the most interesting, like? I don't want to say deformity because that sounds rude. But like,
Yeah, don't use the phrase. What's the most interesting deformity?
I don't know. Like, what's the most interesting? Like, I guess you could say mutation you've seen. Like,
laser eyes.
No, I
Having
mean like
6
actual.
penises.
Peni.
I think one of the
I
most
think it's
interesting.
peni. I think it's penises.
I think one of the most interesting and potentially terrifying to me would probably be like where you get like conjoined twins. That sounds terrifying to have to experience.
Really? But you'd never be lonely again.
What's the horrible part?
It'd only be horrible for
Brett-
anybody else looking at them.
Brett likes his
Subjectively.
alone time. You know what I mean?
If a conjoined twin like touches the other twin, is it masturbation?
Why don't you Google
Well,
that
define
question?
the art.
I'm not going to.
Well, presumably it's not, but depends where the sensation, whether the nervous systems are joined, I guess. To that.
Yeah.
What's the answer, Brett?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Depends whose
I-
knob he's touching.
Well, theirs. It's his.
No, but it's so there's,
The
in a lot
communist
of things, in a lot of legally bits and pieces to do with conjoined twins, they're actually considered two separate legal people. So both of you have to do the same exam.
What happens if one of you's rubbish at it?
Well, then one of you fails and one of you succeeds.
That doesn't. But they
I
can
know it
cheat.
sounds
when
crap,
it co-
but
Yeah, because I mean, me and my sister.
yeah,
I mean,
but
we are,
that's the way it is, isn't it?
we obviously we share about as many genes as co-joined twins would, and we have vastly different abilities and skills. So, you know, I might be great at drawing, and my sister might be great at maths. So, if we were to do the same exam, the fact that we happen to have fused in our mother's womb wouldn't affect that. So, yeah, that's that's a silly way of doing it.
There's a very famous one. I forget the name of the girls now. That's helpful, isn't it?
Hitler.
Basically, they've got. Sorry,
Hitler.
what?
The Hitler twins. Is that something else? That's something else. Never mind.
No, I don't know what the fuck you're on about. No, sorry. No, but there's two girls who've were born conjoined, obviously. That's the subject. But they were basically almost completely conjoined, apart from sort of the neck, from the outside. Internally, they've got a lung each, a leg each, an arm each. They've got the spine each. They've got a digestive tract each, an anus each. No, sorry, a digestive tract that joins at the anus. Things like that. It's very, very interesting. How sort of they're almost completely joined, but apart from one little bit or a couple little bits here and there. So it's like a girl
Wow.
with two heads. Yeah, that's really weird.
And then you have the exact opposite, where you have ones that are conjoined at the head, and that's horrifying.
Yeah, those are the ones that usually try and separate because they're like,
Yeah,
what the fuck?
but quite often one of them loses a lot of their brain because of that. Or like,
Well,
they
it
have, like,
depends. It
ones.
depends.
Depends. It really
Yeah.
does. They have to sort of scan it, and if they can't,
Yeah.
well, I think it's first do no harm. Whatever the Hippocratic Oath, is that nonsense?
Well, the thing
Yeah,
is,
it is
it's usually-
actually.
It's such a myth, isn't it?
Yeah, they don't swear the Hippocratic Oath at all. They kind of vaguely agree to, but they don't swear by it. You can't force a doctor to do something because he'll break the Hippocratic Oath afterwards. And you're like, oh, but films tell me it's. No, it's not.
Yeah, but like I think the conjoined the head one's a weird case because like usually with that kind of situation, if you don't separate them, they both die anyway. So you kind of
That's a higher possibility of that happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll be
Unfortunately.
honest. I mean, I've had people that I've been basically co-joined with when I've been playing Warcraft with them. We might as well be. We were co-joined in spirit, if not in body.
You better
It's
take a shit at the
interesting
same
of what
time.
makes a separate
Well,
person.
yes, obviously we would time going to the toilet at the same time because otherwise that's valuable leveling time you're wasting otherwise.
Yeah.
If you're conjoined, you are probably separate legal persons. But if you have multiple personalities, you probably are not multiple legal persons. If you're a chimera, you're probably only a one legal person.
I
So
wonder
that-
if anyone has actually done that. Someone with true split personality disorder has like gotten a whole bunch of identities, like actual identities, social security number, driving license.
oh god.
Because I mean, if you've got split personality disorder, you aren't necessarily aware of the other personalities. You essentially you black out. You might just think that you're suffering from fits or whatever. So you might then, while you think you're blacked out, your other personality is actually off passing his driving test.
Can you imagine like after that happening, like you go to like a pub and you're drinking, like can you see
But
and they got a deck of cards.
wouldn't that make for a great film where you've got a split personality, but they think they're each individual person, and then they don't realise that the other one is not actually just them, and then they can.
So it's
they
a
can
little bit, but not exactly like Glass.
Well, I mean, no, I'm thinking more that they could maybe
The film.
fight. Maybe they could fight people, and so they're actually all getting to fights all the time. We should probably not talk about this.
It could be cool if they are on the opposite sides of a war.
So what? One of the personalities has a German accent and signs up for the Nazis, and the other one has a British accent and signs up for the British side, and no one works out.
Adam, even better. One of them's a double agent.
So
Everyone's just coming along for the ride.
So then it makes sense for them to both be in the same place if one of them's a double agent.
that would make for an amazing twist in a story.
If such a person would manage to leave and people would find out, would the other personality need to be like nullified to not have effect in law?
But how would you do that?
Well, if both of the personalities like married, and then you have the problem of whether you prosecute for, is it a crime? I think it's like controlled. Would one of the marriages be declared legal or give reason to nullify it?
As far as I know, if you commit a crime by accident, it's still a crime. Like, I got done for speeding, and it was an accident. So I can't just go, whoops, I didn't mean to. Intent is not a defence. This is what we need Izar to tell us these things.
Oh, I'm pretty sure like
Yeah, we don't give legal advice.
And we don't give well, the legal advice definitely is you're not going to get away with I didn't mean to commit that crime. It was an accident. That's still a crime. I'm very sure on that one.
While it's still crime, I think there's actually some leniency in there if you're like a learner driver and stuff like that, which is weird. But
No.
No,
If you're a learner,
you're not responsible being a learner driver.
yes.
The person in the passenger seat is responsible for your
That is
driving.
correct.
Because you are not a proper driver.
No, I mean you're also they also don't like fine you for your first offence. I believe. Like I had this happen to me when I was not when I was learning, but just after I got my license that I like accidentally sped once, and they were like, okay, you can go on like a fucking driver's awareness course, and they won't charge you this one time.
That's not true. They can stick you on that course as often as they want to.
They can, but they won't charge you the first time.
Interesting.
Having mercy applied is different from being responsible.
Interestingly, Max.
I mean, on the course I went on to, 3 or 4 people, a couple of people went. I've been on this course several times.
Oh, God.
Yeah,
It was the sitting down and chatting about speeding things that was most interesting.
Interestingly, Max, you're actually wrong. If a learner is caught speeding while under supervision, they face a fine of points to their license, not you. If they are
Not the instructor.
not the instructor, you get the learner does. Yes. If they
So
are
are we talking about someone whose job is to be a driving instructor, or someone who is just giving driving lessons?
if the car they're
as a sort of
using,
friend?
it kind of doesn't matter. If the car they are
really?
using to belongs to the supervisor will get the letter, and then you can. I think this is you are legally obliged
Drop them in the learner.
to respond and nominate the learner as the person during the time of the offence. Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
obviously, again, it's definitely illegal, but you can just say
yeah.
no, it was me that was driving. That's definitely not legal, and that MP got into an awful lot of shit when they got discovered doing it.
Yes, but other people do get away with it.
I am surprised.
So because
by the way.
MPs, people are trying to dig in the first place.
I am surprised that there isn't. There probably is leniency, not from a speed camera, but if a police officer pulled you over, but like, I'm sorry, this is my first day, but yeah, well, you have to pay attention to this. Sorry, it's my mistake. So you probably get away if you got a chat with someone, but the automated speed cameras are not worth arguing with. Just agree, pay the fine. It's just easier.
You have to admit liability. That's the problem.
Yeah, or you say, actually, I know I didn't, and then it turns into, well, the system now just push you up to you now have to go to court to prove it's not, and
But that can be quite scary if you've never been to court before.
Well, yeah,
Of course.
but yeah, I've only been caught speeding twice, and one time I genuinely thought it was a 50, and I was doing 60, and the argument, I was doing 64 because I thought it was a 50, where I would have been doing 54. It was apparently that doesn't count. And the other time there was a speed camera that there was a tunnel. I booted it through the tunnel, and there's a speed camera as you leave the tunnel. There's no way I could see it.
Yes.
So I slammed on. Oh my god, do I slammed on? No ABS, screaming brakes and smoke. I dread to think what the photo looked like, but I was just down into the speeding awareness course part of the system. Only just. I would love to have seen that photo. I almost wanted to ask for it because I'm pretty sure I locked up all the wheels.
How sideways was the car is what you wanted to know.
There was a bit because I got no ABS, and when I slam the brakes off, the car just starts to pivot. It doesn't brake in a straight line. It just starts to spin on its own axis.
Wow.
So I definitely locked the wheels up, and there was smoke and there was a burning smell from the tires. But I got my speed down, and that's all the camera cared about. Because there's no human involved. The camera says this, the computer says this. You get your letter. Absolutely zero human beings are involved in that process at all.
Less error, usually.
Yeah. I have a signal issue going on, and I'm trying to work out why.
Machines are kind of impartial by design,
Yes.
but sometimes the human judgment actually like makes it like fairer or palatable. One can take into account mitigating circumstances.
Oh, these monorails are ever so fast. Not monorails, maglevs are ever so fast. 250 miles an hour.
I found a couple more. The fact that our body knows the difference between a gas and a solid and which is safe to expel at any given time is greatly underappreciated.
Until you don't.
Never trust a fart. Here's one for you, Brett. Can you imagine licking a plastic ball? Simple
What?
yes or no. Can you imagine licking a plastic ball? How it would feel?
Kind of, yeah.
Can you imagine licking a golf ball? How that would feel?
Kind of?
Okay. Have you ever licked a golf ball?
No?
Right. Could you imagine licking a felt fish?
No.
Yes or no?
Where's this going?
Can you imagine how it would
About this
feel
one.
if you were to lick a toy fish made of felt?
Probably.
Could you imagine how it would feel to lick a die?
A dice?
A dice.
I
A
don't know,
die.
singular
yes.
one,
A
singular one.
dice, yeah.
I mean, it's just plastic, right? So,
Yeah. Can you imagine what
yeah.
it would feel like to lick your keyboard? Can you imagine the sensation of the keys on your tongue as you lick across the keyboard?
Probably, yeah.
Isn't that weird? There's nothing I couldn't name where you cannot imagine what it is like to lick it. Anything. Think of anything. Can you
Your
imagine what
mum-
it's like
right.
to
Your
lick
mum.
a cold
Your mum.
fish?
Your mum.
Accuracy be darned.
But isn't that weird? I was mostly just naming objects on my desk, but whatever you think of, you can go, yeah, I can imagine what that would feel like on my
You have
tongue.
a golf ball on your desk.
That okay, not a golf ball. I've got glow in the dark balls.
Should
Don't
get
judge
some
me.
cream for that.
I actually have two.
Yeah.
But I'm right. Can you think of any object where you cannot possibly imagine what it would feel like to lick it?
Yes, your elbow.
Dark matter.
I can imagine what it's like to lick my elbow.
Adam, what's it like to lick dark matter?
Much like licking a soldering iron, I would guess. I can imagine what it feels like to lick my elbow. Is I have other skin on my body, just like my elbow, that I could lick.
Okay, can you imagine
Going
what it's
to, but I
like?
could.
Can you imagine what it's like to lick your throat?
Yes.
How? Because you can't do it.
How would I do it? Well, licking my
Imagine like
throat,
some-
it's
licking
much
other
like
people's
licking
skin.
somebody else's throat. So I'll get you, cut your head off, and stick my tongue down the hole.
What would that sensation be like?
What would
Do you
it,
know?
what would you want me to describe the sensation?
I mean,
Warm, salty.
You could guess, but you wouldn't know, right?
I know exactly how that would be.
Would you?
I ca- yeah, like-
what does human taste like then?
I can imagine licking this die. I never have, but I could totally imagine it. Is it
Yeah,
for those? Does anyone on stream want to get very angry?
Oh no.
Do you want to? Do you play board games? Don't you, Brett?
Yeah.
Right, cool. Get on the stream. Get on the stream.
I'm
I'm gonna make you seriously angry. I'm gonna make you angry twice.
Oh
So,
no.
here's a die. It's the 6. Yeah. And there's the 2. Here's another die. There's the 6. Are you ready?
It's delayed, but right.
Does that make you angry? Makes me very angry.
What's wrong?
Right.
6 in wrong place. 2's wrong place.
Oh no! Oh, that's horrible. Why?
Do you want now? It gets worse. So here are 2 more of these annoying dice,
Oh my god.
and then let's look at the 6s.
Was this a deliberate choice?
No, they just go in the dark. Because I'm special, man. I have a solar powered turntable with glow in the dark dice on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
their Hawk is getting angry too. They've been on my desk for weeks. I was looking at them spinning there. They go. I went. Hold on a moment. Wait a minute. The 2 is straight. What the hell? And then look at the 6s. That
Well,
makes me angry.
I guess my point is that while you can compare things to other things, so like the dice, you'd be like, okay, if I let this taste something like plastic, for something that you don't really have something to compare it to, like what would you assume the taste of human meat to taste like?
Not about the taste. We're talking about the texture.
Okay, so what
the
would the
answer is
texture of
pork.
human meat?
The texture of human meat. It's just like licking pork, like cold meat. Yeah, horrible, slimy. So here's a question, Brett, and you should know the answer. What are opposite sides of a die add up to?
Oh, that's right.
There's a correct answer and a wrong answer.
I know the correct
7.
one.
Nope,
Well, 7's the wrong
it
answer. I
is
know that
not
one.
7.
Is it?
Any advances on 7? Because 7 is not the right answer.
I'm pretty sure it's either 8 or 9.
Not?
8. Every pair of opposite sides add up to 8 on a
Yeah.
die. It's not 7. Stop saying
I
7.
thought 1 was opposite 6.
1 is opposite 6. Right? That is not what I asked. What do opposite sides on a die add up to?
Well, if 6 is opposite 1, then it'd be 7.
Anyone? Shauka, you said you knew the correct answer?
I thought that 6 plus 1 is 7.
Oh boy. How many sides on the die?
6.
There
All
are
of
like
them?
6 or... Maybe you're referring to 3 and 3, but I don't get
How
how
many
you get
sides
8
on
out
the
of
die?
3.
How many sides on the die? The
As many
answer's not-
sides as you want.
Aha! That's not true either. But there are
I've
a
got,
number.
I've got a 20-sided die.
And what's the opposite sides add up to?
I don't know.
It's not 7, is it?
No, it's got 20 sides.
And how? If you do know, you've
21.
got 21. Opposite sides of a die add up to 1 more than the number of facets on the die.
Well, we said 7, you said no.
Yeah, but that's a
So-
d6. The answer is 1 more than the number of sides, and that does apply apart from a d4 because there's an opposite side.
I didn't
Now-
really follow. I get 3 opposite side pairs.
Yeah,
in
but
a
you just
die.
said you just said that, and you said
On a
that
d6, yes, Shalka. If
Yeah.
you have a 10-sided dice, the opposite sides add up to 11. If you have a 20-sided dice, the opposite sides add up to 21. If you have a 100-sided dice, the opposite sides add up to 101. That's how die manufacturers do them. I can make you angry, by the way, because I have some d6s where the opposite sides do not add up to 7, and that made me very angry as well. I wasn't
Are they
checking
weighted?
these. I've got some weighted dice, and they are hilarious. Are they up here? This is either full of dice or sand. It's dice.
Do you want to see a magic trick?
Fucking sand. Yeah, I have just I have a Pringles can full of dice.
Do you have a pretty kind of sand then? What?
Yes, I do.
Why?
Well, where do you keep sand?
At the beach.
Huh?
At the beach.
But what happens if you needed some sand at your house for one reason or another? Where would you keep it?
I will go to a large shop like the B&Q
Yeah.
or something like that.
And you would use the sand.
Yes, but I wouldn't keep it in my room.
What if you only used half the sand? What would you do with the remaining sand?
Hold on, my friend's in this.
Oh,
house.
man.
Where the fuck's this one going? It didn't get any goods and it decided to fuck off anyway. What the hell? Full load.
Yep,
Why is it
12
full
half
load and it still
100.
disappears?
100? Yeah, absolutely. 100-sided dice have, as long as it has an even number of sides. If it has an odd number of sides, there are no opposite places.
Wait, so why does the D6 add up to 8 then?
It doesn't.
There's
It said
nothing.
eight.
That's what you said.
No, you said
did.
8, and I was like,
No,
what the
no.
fuck, Brett?
No. Someone said 7 first, and you said no, and we said 8. You said yes.
Yeah, because the correct answer is not 7, because you have a 20-sided die,
Oh,
does not
okay.
add up to 7.
Angry.
Angry.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so these are my weighted dice here. And I can't really show it to you on stream, but essentially, that is a massive weight. This thing always lands on 6. The problem is its center of gravity is not there in the center of the 5. The center of the gravity is approximately. I can't show anything. But the center of gravity is pretty much the lower dot of the 6. So when you roll it, it is really, really obvious this thing is not rolling around its. Well, it's obvious the center of mass is not in the middle. It's not subtle.
So I assume it's still possible to roll the other side. It's just really hard.
It's almost impossible. I can't show you. I mean, it's too dark in here anyway. It's almost impossible. But I've used the die to fool people. It's brilliant. But after a couple of throws, they go, "There's something wrong about that. There's something weird." But do you know why in D&D you have those cool glow see-through dice?
Right.
Do you know why? Where they're from?
So you can't see the weights, I guess.
Where are they from? They weren't invented for D&D.
Oh, craps. Things like that.
They're from casinos to prove there's no weights in them. But I said you could do a die that is slightly balanced, but I think in theory you're probably not actually going to achieve enough. Like you need to put so much off-center weight on it. It's hilarious.
So are all transparent materials the same weight? Or is it just harder to make a weighted dice that would be transparent?
So my die is essentially balsa wood at one end and lead at the other, and that will land on a 6 almost all the time. You could make a die that is slightly more likely to land on any given facet, but it's unlikely to affect the outcome significantly. I mean, I guess it might be 1% more likely to land on 6, but you're not going to get one that's reliable.
Here's another fun shower thought. If you won the award of the first man to break 2 world records, that would make it 3 awards. And you would then win the award of the first man to break 3 records. Now you have won infinite awards.
This is true. How many world records have you got, Brett?
Probably fuck all right now.
I like your attitude, sir. Full marks.
Being shot with an arrow is basically being long distance stabbed.
Yeah, that's why they were invented.
Yeah.
For a
Someone
definition
really
of
wanted to
stabbing.
stab somebody, but he was way over there.
I am planning on finding out if there is a world record for the largest minifig stand and seeing if I can beat it.
You're trying to get a plaque from Guinness Book of World Records.
Am I trying what,
You
sir?
have to pay them for that.
plaque.
I only have to pay them if it already exists. If it already exists, I'm allowed to beat it. That's easy. If it's a new record, then you have to pay for it.
That makes sense. Somewhat.
Do you know what the game that is the best-selling DJ game? I'll give you a clue. It's not DJ Hero, which is a game that accurately simulates DJing. It's Beat Mania, which is a game that has absolutely nothing to do with DJing whatsoever, but Konami paid for it, the record.
Nice.
This is why Black and White holds the world record for the most complex AI. Bear in mind, that's their wording. You pay 150,000, you can have any record you like. Bear in mind, that is the wording. Literally, most complex AI. What does that mean? Most lines of code? Most neurons simulated? It's a complete and total nothing of a world record, and that's the one they held. I think I've got.
Paid to hold.
I think I've got about 20 world records to my name, all of which paid for by Codemasters.
Amazing.
Well, one of them was great. So essentially, what happened is I got an email from the marketing going, we're going into the Guinness Gaming World Book of Records. Can you tell us some records about the audio? And I'm like, yeah, right then. So I made one up. I worked out how many possible variants of crash audio there were, and there's some insane number, like 863 trillion combinations. One of them is 87 copies of the same glass sound playing. One of them is 87 copies of a tire burst playing, and so on. But that's not the point. It doesn't have to be a synth record. It has to be a real record. But yeah, I've got loads of records. Oh, time's flying. All right, yeah. See you tomorrow for Rec Room. Ooh.
Yeah, I'll just go and download it first.
Nice.
Right.
Yes, I did. 99.
Night, guys. Night.
So yeah, so Brad, I'm sorry you don't have any world records. I like that we said
Well-
yet though. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah. Not yet. Most depression in a human being. We're getting there.
Most what?
Most depression in a human being. Damn it.
I've only got dimples.
It's mostly a matter of recording. Most people have probably done something unique, but it's not able to be recognized.
Yeah, I mean, like I could say most times I've put this ball in my mouth. Good luck beating that one without stealing my ball. Fuck.
Yeah.
There's not a sense of, there are some restrictions.
I like y'all's monorail.
Monorail. If you hold down your finger on the railway track button, you switch to other types of track.
Oh, there it is.
I did wonder why you were burning railway. Sorry. Monorails are super fast.
So what are the
Do
weirdest?
they carry goods and mail and stuff?
Yeah, exactly the same as regular trains, only cooler. But yeah, you use maglevs, not monorails.
And they've got the same menu system.
Yes.
Interesting. I don't know. Why are you lost ship too? Is it one of those I've got to rip out everything and redo it?
I just leave your old ones, and you can have combination stations. So a station can contain different platforms with different types. So you can extend your current stuff and then retire your old stuff over time.
I don't really feel comfortable with that until I figure out how signals work. I've got a wiki up.
Oh wow.
So, I mean, there's only really two types of signal that you need to worry about. One of them are path signals. The other one are block signals. So,
Okay.
come to me, Aratad. Come to,
Daddy.
come to Daddy. Come to Fronton North. And I'll use railways because they're a bit easier to say. Really, there are only really two types of signal you need to worry about. Can you see where
Where's
I've
the
just
list of cities?
got 6 icon from there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
Front-
I also hold the world record for the largest number of people dressed up as a zombie at once. Like, I was with other people, it wasn't just me, obviously. There would be one.
Fronton. Oh. Wait, this little island?
Just up and left from Fronton.
Left. Oh, Fronton West.
Fronton North.
How many people was that?
It was... where was it?
And it doesn't beat any movie set or anything.
There were 1,227 people dressed up as zombies. And it took the Guinness World Record half an hour to count us all up. I wonder if I'm on the picture somewhere. Probably. Well, obviously, I am on the picture somewhere, obviously.
Can I wait? So it's well, record number of people
Somewhere.
zombies, right?
Yes.
Apparently, that's been broken.
Well, it was 2008. I did hold it.
The current record right now is 15,158.
It was the most number of zombies performing Thriller.
Okay, that's a somewhat different record.
I was around here somewhere.
Nice.
One of those pixels is mine. Right, so Tad, do you see front and north?
Wow, some of those look like really shit dabs.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
I
cool.
see the piece of rail.
So you have two types of signal. You have got block signals, which look like that. So you have two-way block signals. Oopsie, no, wrong button, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just get... Right, block signals. We've got one-way, two-way, one-way, two-way. Okay? Now, as a rule, just skip two-way.
Okay.
Two-way is just asking for trouble. But here, if I've got a block signal and a block signal, what happens here is a train can fit between... the train can
It's
fit
aided
here.
through them. Yeah, I
Yeah,
get
so,
that.
so essentially, think of it as air locking. As long as it can sit between two signals, it is absolutely
Yeah.
fine and dandy. That's quite easy. Those are the easiest ones to use, and those will do you for about 99% of your system. The other one is path signals. These are a little more complicated. But the path signal, what happens is, so you've got your, and we'll have a path signal here. So this is a one-way path signal rather than a two-way. So in this case, a train will come up to the path signal, and as long as it can route to a safe area, so in this case, it's showing I've got a train. So in this case, the train will go through the path signal if it can drive straight on, or if it can drive down to the right. So it will reserve the path that gets slightly darker, and it will move into it. So path signals are more complicated, and they allow things like you can then have stuff like that, stuff like that, and then you would put a path signal. So if you've got a two-way line, you could put one path signal there, and one path signal there, like that, and then trains could then come downwards, and if they wanted to, they could swap lines. But they won't ever drive into. So imagine you've got this set up here, and two trains are coming from the top right. Now, normally, you couldn't have two trains on that bit of line. So if these were block signals, so if these were just these signals, because obviously the train line crosses over, once one train had crossed through the block signal, the other one would go red because it could cross lines. But with the path signal, they reserve what's going on. So path signals are like, essentially, clever. To a degree, you can only use one-way path signals and get away with it. And that's usually what I usually use block signals because I'm old.
So if I use one main line, that's all one direction and one route for everything going the other direction. Gate it the whole way, and then at every station have a the pass-through? What's it called? Hang on.
Like a go around.
Yeah, the one-way path signal.
So is that just the world record for the tallest hat?
At the station.
Yeah, it's 15 feet 9 inches.
Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it has to be.
Do you understand how quickly I could 3D print a hat taller than that? I can have it done in less than 24 hours. I can 3D print a hat taller than that.
How heavy would that be?
Sounds like a record.
Well,
would you be able to wear it, I guess?
maximum weight on head.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So there has to be like a theoretical limit, right? For like weight.
Wow, here we go. So this is what I love. This is why I love the internet. I've just googled for my information, and this is from India. Maximum permissible weight to be carried on the head by a male worker from Eastern India, which is just amazing, because people do carry stuff on their head quite a lot, and there's all sorts of medical research done into it. You should avoid 30 kilos if you're working over rough terrain. Up to 50 kilos. 50 kilos. There you go. I could 3D print a 50 kilo hat and wear it. 50, like that would be a couple of 100 meters tall. 50 kilos of filament that's all the filament in my house. Yeah, that's a stupid record. That's so easy to beat.
What's this one? Most drum beats in 1 minute using a drumstick prosthetic. Surely you just turn up the setting on it and it just goes.
I assume it doesn't have a vibrate function. Wait, what?
I mean, you got 2,400 for that record, so like, I think you just turned it all the way up and just let it go.
Again.
Couldn't a hat be like partially buoyant, so it could be really tall?
Yes, but hold on. How? I don't understand. How is he allowed that record?
Well, no one else has done it, I guess.
Like, yes, but am I allowed to hold a machine to hit drums? I mean, I guess world records on machines is fine. But it seems a bit weird that he's having a world record for his prosthetic, not him. Anyone could wear that prosthetic and get exactly the same world record.
Yep.
Some people consider their prosthetics part of them
and
not attached to them.
I guess so, but it's not him doing the record, is it? It is the prosthetic. Like, he could upgrade that to get a better prosthetic.
That's the largest.
It's your hands doing stuff, you doing stuff.
But what I mean is, he could, as Gorhaka said, can he not just put more drumsticks onto it?
Well, one can grow a bigger hand or a faster hand.
You cannot grow a bigger hand, Schalke. That's definitely not a thing. That's starfish you're thinking of.
The third one's obviously the largest hula hoop spun by a woman, which is 17 feet.
I'll give her that
If
one.
one were to be seriously upset about the size of your hand, you could try to get massive gains or whatever. You have a bigger hand.
No, there's not much. I'm just curious now. So my 3D printer, I can do shapes about 2 seconds. That just biggest table tennis pad.
Yeah.
That looks like a bad Photoshop, to be quite frank, though.
I think the ball is, to be honest. But
No, but
I wonder
the
how much that
bat looks-
weighs.
Well, less than 300 kilos.
Yes, so yeah.
So hold on, I can just export this. I'm just really curious. Pop that into Kira.
Oh my god.
I'm just trying to work out if I were to 3D print the biggest cylinder I can on my printer, how long would how much would it weigh?
Yes, what there is.
You try to make it hollow to
Yeah,
have
of
it even
course it
bigger.
would be hollow. Holy
That
shit!
is the
Most Transformers
largest-
zone.
yeah largest Slash and Transformers memorabilia. 2,111 items.
2,911.
2,111. Yeah.
I have a friend who is probably not far off that. He has a
Yeah.
basement dedicated to Transformer stuff. It is
Oh, wow.
amazing.
Largest humanoid vehicle. Does that mean this is functional? I hope that's functional. I'm sure that's sick.
Well, yeah, but I expect it rolls rather than walks.
Yeah, it probably does.
But if they're not legs, like that to me is stretching the definition of humanoid more than a little bit.
Most consecutive pinky pull-ups, 36.
Wow.
Ouch.
Okay, now how big can I print this before it starts to?
Oh wow, that's impressive. Kind of, I guess.
I-
Most Fortnite victory royales using a quad-stick mouse-operated joystick. 509.
yeah,
Not bad.
but
The
you know,
challenge level on that is not very even.
yeah, but you know what's happening there is he's just losing a whole. Like that doesn't matter. Victories are easy in Fortnite because if you lose a bunch, you get bumped down a mode. How do I make vase mode? What's it called? Ah, sorry, spiralize outer contour.
What is this one? Most spoons balanced on the human body at once. There's 50 in that page.
Okay, so, Brett, stop pissing about pointless things and pay attention to me.
These are great though.
Now, with 69 grams worth of filament, slightly less, I can print a spiralized print that is 83 centimeters tall.
Nice.
Every 5 hours, I can spit out 83 centimeters of hat. How tall did you say that hat was? 15 meters, you said. So 15 meters multiplied by 0.83 is 12 and a half times 5 meters.
Feet.
15
But, yeah.
feet. 3
I believe
meters.
I think so, yeah. Hold on,
Let's
okay.
assume 15 meters. In 62 hours, I can print. Actually, I can count the spin. But in 62 hours, I can print a taller hat than that. I don't care about the world record. Like, why didn't that guy lay down to balance spoons on his body?
Right. Tallest hat 15 feet 9 inches.
Right, so I have to divide that by 3. So in 20 hours, I can 3D print a hat. I've got several printers. I can do it in less than this. But in 20 hours, I can 3D print a hat taller than his world record.
So do you want to break this world record?
I don't want the world record.
But you could.
I have enough world records. It's no fun stealing from other people, is it? I don't understand how Brynhattan is so unbelievably overspec with people. That's not the right phrase, is it?
What's this arbitrary thing? Like,
What's what?
world record for most senior tattooed woman in the world.
So someone not older than her can just take the record by getting any pathetic tattoo on it. Or is tattooed more than a certain percentage of your skin?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about. Does it mean you have your body? That's because she's like, so like I don't.
Do tattooed people have like a shorter life expectancy or something?
What, people with tattoos?
Probably
Yeah.
not.
Well, life is pretty cheap for those sorts of people.
I was wondering if there was a statistical link.
Do tattooed people live less long? Yes, apparently. but more likely to do with risk-taking behavior. So if you look statistically speaking, women who own horses live longer than women who don't. Causation is that owning horses makes you live longer. It's more likely that someone with enough disposable income to own a horse can also afford excellent medical care.
Yeah. Oh wow. World record number of face piercings, 453.
Oh man, I'm way behind. So what's the biggest number of minifig stands?
Good question.
Thank you. Because they are richer, yes. Hence correlation, causation.
So not necessarily for stands, but the most Lego minifigs is 4,410.
I probably don't own more than 1,000. It's a bit wearing up a quarter of the way to the world record, though. Oh wait, but unique or duplicates, because I can buy shit tons of identical ones.
That's a good question. I would.
Thank you. Because there are people who own like 1,000 Stormtrooper minifigs.
I think they're all different ones, from what I can tell.
How many minifigs are there?
It mentions that there's one specifically trying.
Well, there's only 3,600 minifigs, so.
Okay, must be. Okay.
How many minifigs are there? Yeah, so this has information on 1,209. Yes, 13,000 minifigs, but that's done by a computer. That makes sense. Because I've got some super rare minifigs that only appeared in very rare. You know, you got the Comic-Con and stuff like that. And Mike, who's a friend of mine who works for Lego, he's got minifigs you cannot buy. The only way to get them is to ship a Lego game.
So Adam, you know audio, right? Well, how many decibels is like dangerous?
There isn't really. It doesn't quite work like that. Like 500 decibels for a minute will destroy your hearing forever, but 500 decibels for 1 second is probably okay.
So the world record here is a golden retriever named Archie owns Guinness World Record with the loudest bark at 113 decibels.
That is loud. That would make your ears ring.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds painful. The tallest mohawk is 3 feet 8 inches tall.
See, that's fine. That I will give the man that record.
Yeah.
Brett, have you never just sat there and looked through world records before?
Oh, I have. I just some of these are like 2020.
Yeah, but my point, I used to do this a lot as a child. Work out which ones I could beat. Then I beat ones that I never thought, well, they didn't exist as a child. But yeah, you could be 500 dB is not a, it's not that. But yeah, eventually you'll have enough sound energy that it would vaporize you.
Yeah. Oh, wow, longest hair on a teenager.
What? Why on a team? You can't just split hairs like that. Oh wait, no pun intended. I'm sorry.
That is impressive, though. Good lord.
Yeah, but that's like the longest hair grown in 20 years.
Well, I think it's because they separate it by adult and like child and teenage categories for some of these things for whatever reason. Because I guess like for adults they have way longer to grow it. I guess I don't know.
That makes sense.
A nuclear bomb is around 210 dB from how far away?
Oh,
Do you mean dBA at 6 feet at 90 degrees? Because I find that hard to believe.
a world record number of nail bed sandwiches. Oh. Ow.
But why? But that doesn't require any training. That just requires just...
I don't know, actually. Maybe it would.
No, it doesn't. You can't get better at it, can you?
I don't know, can you? Maybe.
Better at getting pierced or not getting... Not really.
I mean, I imagine it requires some, like, muscle to, like, hold that much stuff on top of you. Right? Without getting, like... I don't know, yeah. But they've... maybe not, actually. I don't know. Hard to say. Oh wow. Largest snow structure. It's a snow labyrinth.
Is that not, you know, the Arctic?
No. It's in
So,
Canada.
do you know why penguins and polar bears never meet? Simple. Polar bears live at the North Pole, and
Yeah.
penguins don't exist. Oh, you must be new here,
Is this
Tad.
one of those birds aren't real things?
No one knows what birds are. What are birds?
They're dinosaurs.
Here's
Valence drones for the government.
Here's the world's tallest man next to the world's shortest man.
Now, isn't he dead though?
He might well be. This was taken... Oh, it doesn't say. Yeah. 251 centimeters and 54 centimeters.
Yeah, that's Brett. That's what Brett looks like. Brett is reaching down, touching something the same size and girth as my penis. Well, that shut him up. No, a shockwave refers to a change in density, not a density. I appear to be listening to a chiptune rendition of Hey Now You're an All-Star.
Interesting.
I have to say, my minifig stand is enormous, but it is much less efficient than this minifig stand. I've got an efficient minifig stand, but it's a bit rubbish. And my one, I am perhaps regretting it. It is absolutely huge, and I am not even a quarter of the way through getting my minifigs into it.
Oh god. This guy has the longest tightrope walk on this thing, which is...
Is he? What's the word when you don't have a rope? Free lining?
Yeah, I don't know, but 995 meters he walked on it.
I want you to stop. I want that photo to stop.
That's impressive though, but oh.
Well, yes.
Oh, that reminds me. Have you ever been to the subreddit called Sweaty Palms? It's full of stuff that's just meant to make, you know, your palms sweat. Like really high up places and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I have VR. If I want to get vertigo, I will just use my VR headset. Oh, I should probably get to bed soon.
Oh no.
Oh, if you push X. Oh no, it does show the vehicles. Excellent.
Excellent. I linked told the picture of the Transformers guy, and he goes, "My brother's collection is way better than that." He's being snobby. He's like, "Oh, he doesn't have it. All. He's just got modern stuff. He doesn't have the original Gen ones." And I guess it's just the world's biggest collection of Transformers, not the world's coolest collection of Transformers. What am I doing tomorrow? Since tomorrow I was doing something interesting tomorrow. I forgot what it was.
Raccoon?
No, something. Oh yeah,
Is there any way to get a city to stop hating my guts?
Wait.
That's a lovely
service
one.
them.
I did not like this image.
I tried that. They were very much pissed about that.
Isn't that the one where she died shortly afterwards?
Local
There's
road
quite a few of
reconstruction.
those where people just died not long after taking the photo. No, it wasn't that one. It's a different one.
Tom, a comment on that post. How do you
Bribe the
even begin,
local authority.
how do you even
That's
begin to get down from that? And someone responded to either very slowly or very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the easiest way to have it if you've got the money is to build trees.
I don't see that one yet.
You could build trees. Fourth
I can
icon.
bribe them.
Fourth, don't do that. Fourth icon from the right. Just fourth icon from the right. Zoom out. Surround the whole area with trees. They'll love you. Go figure. Did that work, Tab?
That's fine. Oh, yeah, they're growing again. Yep, that
Growing
one did
has
it.
no,
Now I
growing
can build
doesn't
bus stops, and they'll actually like me.
growing doesn't have anything to do. Which town? Sorry,
Oh god.
Frunton. Did you say?
Trin, Fingley.
Trinfingley.
The
Ah,
main
yeah.
city I use as a hub. But
Right.
they
Don't
freaking hate my
build
guts.
anything. Don't build anything. Don't build anything. Please tell me you haven't built anything. Don't build another depot in there. Extend your
I
current
haven't built
one.
anything.
Don't build anything. So you were trying to get more passengers in. You said bus depot. I mean, I'd build another. I would build another.
Yeah.
Let me switch to you. Add join. Right. First of all, let's make sure. Oopsie, wrong guy.
I
Let's
have the
make
depot
sure.
in the city.
Right. Don't build. Right. Let's just make sure that's now yours. No one can build on that, including the city. That's important. Why do you want to build a bus depot? You want to increase the number of passengers that get to your station in your town with 5,200 people. You have more people at the
Every
station
single
than live
city
in
I
the
put
town.
a bus depot in loves me.
That's not how it works. So essentially, they like you when you do good stuff, and they
It's in
hate you
this
when you
game.
do bad stuff. They think you're appalling right now. First thing you could do, is you're rich, is you can build a statue. So the statue gains you extra happiness. All you need to do now is sort out your station. More trains, more people, mostly more trains. I mean, notice your trains are only about half as long as actually would fit in the station. So you can make your trains longer. Easy,
Yeah.
easy.
Okay.
Well, that's a fun one.
But
Yeah.
I am about to.
Well, I've made them 7 cars long because I
That's-
figured they were 7
No.
blocks long. That was
No,
the same
they're-
thing.
they're-
I'm
no,
guessing
they're-
that's not the case.
Yeah, they have to be. So if you see that train that's in the depot, whoop, there we go. So you see the train in that depot,
Yeah.
train 9. How long is it? Don't guess. It tells you.
Yes.
How long is it?
7.
No. How long is it?
4.5.
4.5.
Okay. No, I got you. So I can add lots more passengers. Do I just want to rip this all out and make it all grav now?
No, just make it slightly longer.
I hate some of these.
Well, don't look at them then. I like the one of the astronauts.
No,
That
that
was-
was the first untethered spacewalk, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's
Terrifying.
amazing.
I would hate that. Like you just see like the shit floating away, like fuck.
So I don't ever oh, if it's 7 and it's a dual-headed train, that's fine. But 7 is the right length.
Oh.
There it goes. And just do that to all of them as they come in.
Yes, but I think you're going to have to do that next week because I'm about to save and shut it down. Does this game trigger your relaxed, tell things what
Alrighty.
to do, sir? Part of your brain. But I
It's
just like,
very lethargic. Cathartic? That's the word.
it's very therapeutic, apart from when they blow up, which happens. Yeah. So thank you for watching, guys.
Fun.
You're awesome. We will be back tomorrow for some VR and, in Shark's case, non-VR silliness. So I have to tidy up my room. So we'll see you tomorrow. Nighty night.